Count us in.
1, 2, 3. Definitely getting better every week. I'm thinking, you know what? This is going to get better every week.
Hello.
So hello from William.
Yes.
Dregs.
Yes.
Tam. They got Tam this week as a guest. I thought I'd do the intro because I think we need more Dregs time, but that's just me. Before we start and get into the deep, meaningful conversation with Tam, we've got a Twitter account, so we thought, why not use it?
What is it?
The address or the username is @Dregscast. That's DREGSCAST with the @ symbol at the beginning.
If you're not sure how to spell it, look at the top of the video.
Yeah. You've obviously managed to find it. Let's be honest.
You do it very well.
You did a great time. So Tam's on because he's about to leave the country.
Yeah, I'm off to India on Monday. This is Saturday night.
Saturday night live.
For the listeners out there. So yeah, I'm pretty fucking terrified about going away.
Really? Have you not travelled the world before?
No, I have.
Yeah. So
this is the first time I've gone on a big trip away by myself.
How old are you?
I am 22.
Oh, just a puppy.
Just a young bastard.
So you've been travelling but with other folk, or?
Well, just like mum and dad. Family holidays and that.
I mean, you're caravanning.
I've been travelling.
No, I've been away like Africa.
Wait, your mum and dad?
Mum and dad.
Great,
yeah. So
stayed in a nice hotel. Package.
Not a lot of life experience so far. Not a lot of life experience. A little bit, not so much.
I took a gap here, really? Well, mum and dad were there, but you know.
I stayed at mum's house.
Yeah.
got a job at a local cafe.
Roughly at the locals. It was lovely. It was beautiful. You been travelling with?
I was going to ask Tom, why are you going to India? I mean, I know, but they might not.
Yeah, well, I'm going to India because I'm going to do my yoga teacher training.
Why?
So,
your YTT.
I'm going to ask three whys in a row.
Well, I'm going to do it because...
Why? That's fun.
I love yoga, first of all.
Why?
It's awesome. It's just benefited me so much and like...
Why?
How?
Damn it, go on.
Go on one my left, I'm going to keep it.
The reason why it's benefited me is this. Is because it kind of...
I feel you're clutching at straws.
It's the birds, nah.
the birds.
Wait, what's yoga done for you?
Well, it's just...
Or can I just say, don't be nervous. Don't be nervous.
Sorry, I'm a bit nervous.
You should be, why? We've done this.
Do yoga breathing.
Yeah, deep breaths, you'll be fine. You say
Oh.
That's very nice. You're going to get into a higher state of podcasting this.
People always ask me that when I'm doing jiu-jitsu, they're like, why are you breathing so fast? Like, sort of yoga breathing, doing all that. I'm just like, not that good yet. Not that good yet.
You can do yoga fast.
still learning.
I'm really good. I just do it really fast. That's why I'm so good at it.
So you do speed yoga? No, what have you got out of yoga?
Spoga.
Well, it's kind of the ability to just like, I don't know, calm yourself down, calm your mind down. It's like, it kind of helps you out and just...
Were you a pure Raji before?
So you're quite an anxious person.
Were you quite aggressive?
No, just upset. Upset? Just I was a sad person.
Sad and lonely or sad?
Bring it down.
No,
let's bring it up.
Let's kick in the depression.
So starting with your mother, I believe, is
what do you mean sad? Yeah. Sad as in pathetic or sad as in sad?
The reason why I left uni because I was depressed.
When did you leave uni?
I left uni
We're getting deep, man.
I know, isn't it? I'm trying not to make jokes about it, but it's
fucking fine away.
So when you say depressed, do you mean like a little bit sad? Like, I wish I'd passed that exam.
Were you hacking your arms up?
It wasn't. I just wasn't able to get out of bed. It's just pathetic.
Was that
it's
MS?
Just like,
that's MS. That's not depression. That's MS.
Most of our listeners and viewers are pretty pathetic.
It's just like you just get like for me. I just got a point. It's like
I mean, we love you. We do love
the fucking day. Like, right. I'm not gonna get out of bed.
That's a 9-to-5 job, mate. That's not depression. I wish.
The thought of doing anything and having like the pressure of uni, like all that kind of stuff, it just all reduced me to tears. It was just like it's all just too much.
Uni's just drinking in birds, though, right?
Why don't you just lift weights? That would make you more of a man, and then you wouldn't be depressed. Like, I've actually got big muscles. Let's go out and talk to girls.
We clearly didn't try that.
Yeah, you didn't. You go, I'll get more flexible. That's what gets the girls.
Didn't have any guidance. No guidance.
So you dropped out of uni and you thought, you know what, I'll do yoga.
Hang on, I
didn't drop.
Before you do, I wanted to ask what you're doing in bed all day. You said you couldn't get out of bed. How did you pass your days? Were you reading?
No, just doing nothing.
You used to shit yourself in the bed.
Did you?
No, because like...
Describe to me the pain you were in. Like, was it an empty pain? Was it like, I can't even be arsed eating crisps? Were you fat before and now you're slim?
No.
Like, 6 months of depression was a great diet.
Talk me through the average day.
What was for me was that I got depressed because I was in like a long-term relationship or whatever, and then came out of that, and as a consequence, started to like dabble in drugs.
Oh, aye.
Oh yeah.
No wait, did you end or did you come out of the relationship off your own accord, or was it somebody else told you?
Oh no, she
you're,
done me.
you're out. You're not.
Oh,
out.
she done me big time.
Right. Okay.
Big time. How'd you do it? How'd you do it?
I think so.
Did she come up with a stereo outside your window? Like, Tom! You're dumped!
I like the idea, like, if you really like someone, you're going to dump them subtly, slyly, because, you know, sorry, you're going to...
You pass them a note,
Yeah.
give them a cuddle.
I'm going to go over the top, I really like you, I'm going to dump you big style.
So how did she dump you?
Just on the phone. What's that?
Scott Hart.
Is that big style, is it?
What, a text message or like an actual...
Well, it was a shitty day for me.
That was a
because
voicemail.
I just come back from seeing her, and
So he spent time with her, and that was
Well,
it.
I spent
That was the
time
nail in
with
the
her.
coffin, you saw her.
What did I do? What did you do in that one conversation? Like, I must have done something really bad, because, like, you know, we were talking, like, 5 minutes ago, and now she's like, get out. Get out of my life.
what's the? You just like obviously I remember that fucking phone call, just like
That fucking phone call.
it's just like
Didn't affect you much then?
Nah, you know.
Fine with it.
Thought about it a few times.
Does she watch the Dregscast?
Nah.
Good.
Okay.
Well, you never know.
Hang on.
She might do. She might do.
I'll post it on the wall.
So sorry, she phoned you
She phones you.
5 minutes after you left her house.
No, well she lived in Dundee, and
that's
I was
probably
coming
fine.
back.
She's a total like slag then.
Car broke down on the way home.
Ooh, you brought it.
Well, no,
Well, it sounds a bit weird,
I
to be
broke down
honest.
as well. So I broke down in the Forth Road Bridge, which wasn't cool. It was rush hour traffic.
I thought, should I jump? Should I not?
But she's
So
not
I left her flat in the morning, up in Dundee,
Right.
and then I got home, maybe about 9 o'clock at night.
Right.
So
What
it was
did you
just like
walk?
hellish day,
So you're hungry?
shitty. And then I got back up. And,
What was the weather like? Was it raining?
I got back up to Edinburgh and she dumped me.
I'm imagining it being windy on the bridge.
Yeah, a lot of rain,
Yeah.
a lot of like sad music in the background, lightning perhaps.
Like the Dido song.
I know, yeah. It's like a note. I know in your in the glove. So what? You left and then you had a shit day, and then she phoned you and said, "Tam,
Well,
I
yeah.
understand you've had a shit day."
Hang on.
The thing is, I remember.
I have to actually have an important question. Had you eaten when she dumped you?
No, I wouldn't have.
Because I had.
Well, wait, what do you mean you wouldn't have?
Because you've been travelling all day.
Right, okay.
You did.
Because remember, I got a call from a girl, and she's like, "Can I come around to talk?" And I was like, "Shit!"
I was like, nah,
I
both know what this means.
I was racing. I'd just done 4 or 5 hours of training or whatever. I was knackered. I knew I was going to be emotional, and I was trying to find bread or whatever, trying to get some snacks down me just so I'd have calories to deal with it.
Yeah.
And like the bread was in the toaster, didn't pop. She arrives at the door,
Oh, shit.
and I just immediately I just fall apart. It's the worst thing ever.
So you know what's happening though.
I suspected. I thought that if I'd eaten it, I could have done.
Should you not prepare some witty one-liners like I would have done?
I hadn't got the food.
Right, so I'm gonna get dumped.
Even just a lick of chocolate spread, and I'd
Yeah.
been like, me? I don't think so.
Exactly. But you
Hey,
think
lady.
keep your dignity intact and come up with
But
something.
instead, I was bawling.
Yeah.
Were you bawling?
Well, the thing is,
Did you cry?
I remember being depressed
What was it
before I
like
met her.
when you were okay?
But so, like, I was depressed before I met her, and like, she was like, you know, probably one of the hottest birds in our school or whatever. And like, I just had like this, like, total, like,
I'm just got.
stupid shit.
I'm
Just
trying.
give me a twist.
Sorry.
No, just keep going, keep going.
I was 7.
Oh,
We met in the swings.
But that's it, like,
No, I was
she
thinking
was,
more like-
at that point, she was all I had. I didn't have anything else. I didn't
But she was
have any
always-
hobbies, like, really, like, I wasn't, like, particularly good at anything. And, like, so, yeah, like, she was all...
I can't imagine what that's like.
wait.
Yeah,
Well,
you know, you're young.
I like it. It's like she's the hottest girl in school. She almost had a terrible personality, but she was really hot. So she's like a trophy bird.
Was she nice in hindsight?
Yeah, it's lovely.
Was she? Have you spoken to her since?
Yeah.
Do you miss her?
Have you called her up? Would she lend you a grand? Right.
Did she not got a grand, or she just wouldn't do it?
I'll do
Nah,
it.
she just wouldn't do it.
You went through so much together.
Right, so.
Yeah.
Did you have an abortion together, or did you have any experiences?
Nothing's quite as heated as that.
No, did you have a little oops? Oh, we should probably get that checked out. Nah, no moments like that.
Nah.
How long were you with her? Month and a half?
9 months.
I think it's like just under a year.
Alright. So she dumped you, you fell apart. You'd already fallen apart.
Already fallen apart.
So wait, did she dump you because you're falling apart? 'Cause
Oh, ling.
Yeah.
Nah, like
Were
it's
you
just
shit
it's
like
a
that?
distance. Yeah,
Did you
probably
used
was
to,
it? Yeah.
did you used to drive up to Dundee and just go, just
I don't remember taking her out.
oh, by
ever.
the shit week,
So-
Cheryl.
So wait, so you're in Edinburgh, she's in Dundee, and you're at uni obviously.
Yeah.
So what, she's at uni in Dundee, are you from Dundee originally or what?
No, she went to uni in Dundee. We're both from the borders.
Alright. So alright,
Oh,
okay.
okay. You're dating before university.
So you're gonna get a farm
Standard
out of it at
to
least, you know?
Mm.
Some sort of frontage from that.
So hang on, I want to get onto the tough bits now.
Yeah.
The nitty and the
She
gritty.
broke up with you. You're already, I already having rough times because you're rubbish at everything.
Yeah.
Right. And,
It's the attitude that counts the way.
and you've been seeing this girl for a year just being rubbish. Going up, sitting on her sofa.
Speed shit.
Just like,
Shit.
do you want to do anything, Tom? Nah. Do you want to go out?
Do you want to give me an
Don't
orgasm?
do.
Nah, I don't really feel up to it. Maybe the hottest girl in school, but why would I bother?
Can I just
I've
look
got
at you?
I've got you now, so why should I try?
It's done.
Everyone knows that you're hot, so by proxy,
I've
I'm
won.
hot as well. Yeah, exactly. I'm a winner.
So you sound like a winner. Yeah, in that way, you do sound like a winner.
Yeah.
I dated the hottest bird ever.
Yeah.
In school.
Of course she dumped you.
Of course you did.
Yeah.
Right.
It was never gonna last.
Never gonna last.
Well, with that attitude, of course it's not. This is never
I
gonna
know.
last.
I remember my brother telling me, like, dude,
Write it till
enjoy
the-
it while it
Yeah,
lasts.
exactly.
Enjoy it while it lasts.
That's what he said to me.
Yeah.
He said to me, write it till the wheels fall off.
Yeah.
I said, what do you mean? It's not gonna last. Get the books down.
Yeah, exactly.
I said,
Right,
don't
fucking
be
wheels
so
fall
shit about it. Nah, it's not gonna last. Write it till the wheels fall off.
Yeah, but
I've stuck that.
in the nicest possible way.
Aye.
So enjoy it while you
Yeah.
can. Well, it's
But
not
also
enjoyable.
more than that, I particularly like that. That's probably one of the top 2 bits of advice I've ever received. And the reason was because it's so descriptive. It's not like just play about in it. It's like I can imagine him galloping down on my tricycle like it's fucked.
Yeah.
Like the brakes don't work, nothing works.
You can just see the
Yeah, like,
ball on the
the wheels are coming out,
yeah.
like, keep going.
Trust me.
Trust me.
See how long you can hold on for.
Yeah.
You never know. You're just grinding metal at the ground now. It's like, this is fantastic. All the
The
way
wheels
in.
are on. They're just flat. They're skis.
Yeah. You're sitting there with the handlebars melting at the ground. You're like, that was awesome. I'm going to do it again. Fantastic.
But
So-
you hadn't received that advice because you hadn't met Dregs then.
And yeah,
No.
you're like,
So-
again, you're going to India for all this shit, and I could just sit right here. You want to do some stretching? Aye. I'll show you some stretches. Aye. One of these, and then one of these, and that's you. You ready? That's your day. You should start teaching yoga. It's not that difficult.
Nah.
Carry on.
I'll rein you in.
Yeah, it's alright.
You can talk this week.
Yeah, I've
Last
learned
week you were fucked, and this week you.
this week I'm fresh as a daisy. I've been here since 9. Been here since 9:30 in the morning, folks.
Yeah.
All ready to go.
This is the 5th rehearsal of this
I know.
Dregscast.
We do it live.
Do it
raw.
live. This is it. If this is not going out,
We're
not
getting
doing
very
it.
professional. So, to bring you back into the room,
So hang on. Yeah, you got miserable.
Yeah. Got miserable.
Les Miserables is the French
When
word.
I started a lot of partying, a lot of drinking,
Right.
and
That doesn't sound miserable.
Hang on. Yeah, I was going to say.
When I'm miserable, I sit in the house,
Yeah.
mope a bit, maybe watch the Dregscast.
Mm.
When you're miserable, you go out and party.
yeah.
I think we've got a different. Like my high is you're like on one of our off days.
I started a Fortune 500 company. I just didn't know what to do with myself, so I thought I'd make £1 million, and then I'm just miserable, you know. I just didn't know what to do. I spent all the money on hookers and cocaine. Again, I was just terrible times. I used to use midgets to like bring my Doritos to me.
Yeah, I
Nah,
was always going. Like
Horrible.
No,
Horrible.
it wasn't like that.
It
it was
like that at all.
terrible. It was in black and white for a start. There was no colour. It was horrible. Carry on.
Go on. Right, both of us.
You got one more Y left.
I've got one more while left. Go on.
Yes.
Like, let's get the story out.
Right, so basically, at that point, party.
Party. Sorry, because you know I just done that when you were with the bird. It's why I stayed with you. Just a thought. Carry on.
Maybe. Yeah. I know, I've done stuff.
I think that's standard practice.
Yeah.
Deep breaths, we'll all get through it.
Okay, I'm not going to let you talk. So I read this thing. This guy who worked in a bar or nightclub for like 10, 15 years, and he said, you know, small town, same
Professional.
professional bar. It was America. Same people kept coming back, and they see these girls come in. They meet the guy at the club or bar, wherever it was. They'd pull. They'd get together. They'd get married. They'd have kids. She'd get fat.
Right.
She'd get fat and complain. Then
About 9 months fat or
no,
actually?
not like actual fat, like a couple of years into the relationship. It was rubbishy relationship.
So
And she'd get all whingy and horrible. She used to be great fun when she was in the club. She'd be horrible. And then he'd stop enjoying himself or whatever. You know, she's making him work. I don't know, whatever. Making him work 2 jobs to pay for the kids he never wanted. Then she'd leave him,
Aye.
take all the money for the kids, and then she'd come to the clubs,
Aye.
go out clubbing again,
Aye.
and and get slim again.
So, in a word, that's Tam.
That's Tam.
Well, it's 2 words. That's Tam.
You're the bitch.
You're the bird. That's fantastic, Tam.
Yeah, you're the bitch.
Great. No, but that's a great job. Well done. Round of applause for Tam. I've done fuck all. I get all the money. I do very little work.
I take the hottie, I get the benefits, and then when we break up...
And you get the social superiority. Aye, well, that man was no good.
So
I'm just away.
He's just away.
So, yeah,
Right, no,
that's not... That's the pain. Using it as body going... Seriously, guys,
he's in his painful place.
It's a real thing, man.
Yeah.
It's a real thing.
Right.
That's shitty.
It is shitty.
Go on.
But, like, from there, it was... the important thing was, like, I managed to... Well, a lot of my mates just decided they didn't want to talk to me because a lot of things that happens when you start being around drugs is you talk about drugs all the time.
Yeah.
And that becomes your chat. And everyone's been around that kind of person. It's just like, talk about how much they take and all this kind of bullshit. And it's just like, it's boring. It's boring as fuck.
Well, you mean bodybuilders, and they do the same thing.
I was going to say,
yeah,
they're
you talk about the things they're into.
Yeah.
So
and that's it.
I did 10 reps this way, I did 10 reps that way. Right, you're like, I took 10 pills this way, I took 10 pills that way. It's the same thing.
And I think people judge drugs a little bit differently. One, because
of Biker Grove,
yeah,
Green Chill, all these things.
Just exactly. Adverts on the telly, icebergs, but
icebergs.
There was an advert that was taken off TV for being too scary. Like it was a heroin advert. It was like the tip of the iceberg or something, and I
just like the
and they
idea.
removed it. It was so scary. It stopped people taking drugs. But
I like the idea of a guy who's like, heroin's a little bit high. Where am I going to take it? The most beautiful place in the world. What? On an iceberg. So he spends all this time.
Is that the most beautiful place in the world?
I don't know. Just imagine it. Training up to go to like the Aurora Borealis on an iceberg. Right, so he trains up. He does like his scuba dive, whatever he needs to do. Whatever. And he's on his little kayak. There's a little bit of heroin, and he's like finally made it there. Takes off his goggles. And he goes, "This is the most beautiful place in the world." Right. Takes his heroin, and he's like,
"Is this what you did?"
This is off my tits.
See,
on an iceberg.
See, I'm making an effort to get back to Tom. We've got a lot of Tom stories to get through.
Oh, there's loads of Tom stories.
Do you want to just like suck that back? So
we're just stuck in a shit bit.
Come on, come on.
Yeah, let's move out. This is mine. Carry on.
Right, so
because the whole time I'm just living through this.
I know, that's what I can see. You're going, this was hard for me, this was hard. Right, so shut it.
So I realised I had a problem, and I think like a really important thing is like I actually recognised it and was like, right, well, I need to sort this out. So I started just going to the gym, and that was my way of being like, well, I'm just gonna do that.
Pumping iron?
Yeah, pumping iron. Started doing some serious squats.
Sure.
And and it was kind of through that, like I realised that bodybuilding, doing all the weights and that, it's not the most entertaining shit. Yeah.
So you're just measuring the biceps there.
Well, Alana's got, what was it, 13 and a half inches?
13 and a half inch guns.
Yeah, this is dense. Yeah.
So, 12 and 3/4, ladies and gentlemen.
Round of applause there. So you stopped training quite a while ago? Or?
Yeah. Well, all I've done is yoga since the start of this year.
So,
hang on, you started with it was dull.
It was dull. So then decided, well, I'll do like fighting in that, like. Okay. So then I started the gym.
Was it because you had aggression, or like you just wanted to get out of the house, or?
Well, it just seemed like it's like a big challenge and something that would take like a lot of my effort, and for me to do it, it would mean having to change my life a bit and be a bit healthier. And
what got you into fight? Oh no, I know.
Rogan podcast.
That's good.
Other podcasts are available. Podcast. I do not condone.
So hopefully this will get people into depression. They'll be like, I fancy a bit of that, because if I get depressed, I'll be able to.
Quick question though. Did you get into the Rogan podcast because of the drugs or because of the fighting? Because he's known for his partaking in the casual drugs market, shall we say?
Yeah, probably like because it was like I watch a lot of stuff that like if it's like weed programs, right? Yeah. Like I watch a lot of positive stuff. So like make it feel as if that like
it wasn't your hobby, it was your passion. You're reading all the magazines, you were watching the TV show.
Yeah, because he's like Joe Rogan's like DMT. His weed.
Yeah, like
how crazy did you get into the drugs? Like, was it just marijuana?
No. That's the thing. Weed came after, and that's kind of when I started.
After the other drugs?
Yeah.
What did you start with?
Just like MDMA and like cocaine.
Ecstasy?
Yeah.
Why do people call it MDMA?
Because it's like, I don't know, ecstasy is like pills.
Because the police can't spell.
Okay.
Mine is hardcore, like.
That was it, okay. Right.
It's not.
So you started with a class A.
Yeah. I think someone could
top of the class.
I think someone could probably handle it. Like I wasn't having like obscene amount of drugs. It was just like it wasn't healthy for me. Like it if you're depressed,
You're quite scrawny, I'd imagine you couldn't take as many.
Yeah.
Well, so you're depressed, and then you have your hell of a come down, your 3-day come down, which wouldn't help, and then
Yeah. Well, it's just like you're not benefiting anything. You're just sort of, it's all detrimental to your health.
So how dark did you get?
I mean, I never wanted to commit suicide. Like I always like wanted to be able to help myself, and like when I realised there was like an issue, like it was about sort of addressing that, and it wasn't like, it was like, what can I do to make me happy, you know, because this isn't working.
Keep after drugs, son.
Keep off the drugs.
Or take drugs that make you happy.
Yeah. Take happy drugs.
Happy
Take
drugs.
happy drugs.
Ching.
Alcohol. Yeah, but ecstasy or MDMA, as it's known to the kids, that's a party drug, isn't it? That gets you up and going. It's just the come down that's the bad thing, right? That's the thing that makes you feel a bit shit.
Exactly. But
So on a weekly basis, maybe take it once.
yeah, so you may be like up for like 4 hours, but then you get like 3 days of.
Really?
Well, for me, like even drinking, like I feel the effects like sort of like 2 days after.
You're drinking the wrong drinks, man.
Aye.
We've talked about it. Did you not watch part 1?
Different drinks for different needs, mate.
Different drinks for different needs.
I think I'm wrong.
You need to get the
That's what
rum
I'm saying.
and tequila. Tequila's a great hangover. Fantastic.
stories.
You wake up giggling. You drink.
I find gin gives me a very, very same feeling. You feel like, you don't feel drunk, but you still feel like a bit. You feel like a lord.
Wake up the next day.
You wake up the next day, you feel like a lord of the manor.
Right.
Because you've been drinking gin. Like you feel like a Victorian lord. Like I feel rough, but I'm not. I don't feel that kind of.
I don't feel dirty.
No, I don't feel dirty. Yeah, you feel like I feel posh.
I wake up after.
posh drunk.
I wake up after gin, questioning everything.
Yeah.
Like if
Why?
I mean, was it really fun? Was it? I mean, are they my friends? They were laughing at my jokes.
Were they laughing at me?
Were they laughing at me? Right.
Yeah.
Whereas I wake up with tequila and I'm like, anyway, so
you're a tequila man, so maybe we should figure out which drink. What
drug?
I can't
well,
decide.
how this nowadays?
I'll just
practice.
What's your drug of choice nowadays? Like, recreational? Would you smoke? I mean, or would you? I don't know.
Marijuana.
yeah.
If you
If it was more socially acceptable, then I'd just be. Don't know.
I think it is socially acceptable, isn't it?
It's not really.
Not to me, I'd judge him.
Why?
A lot of people do.
Because it's got the word illegal in it.
We're supposed to do illegal highs.
Yeah.
Or legal highs, so I was say they both got illegal in it. It's the 2 letters. High up.
No, I always wonder. And this goes back to the cleverly to the yoga thing. I think.
Thank you.
I always think. I know it seems like. It's weird, although at the same time it's weird that you can say, all right, you should do something healthy for yourself. If you're feeling a bit miserable, do yoga.
Yeah.
Whereas if somebody says, if you're feeling a bit miserable,
Take this.
take marijuana,
Yeah.
you feel like you're cheating.
Aye.
Like-
You're not accomplishing anything. All you're doing is going up, taking this, and that's it. There's no like, I did this for myself. All I did was take a Smartie, or whatever. Like I had a Tic Tac. You're
But
not.
like if you go and lift weights or whatever, you're just creating the same.
But there's a process
Same
there.
high, right? Yeah, but you're still tricking your body into releasing endorphins.
Yeah, but you're having to put the effort in to do that. Whereas I think if you take medication or drugs, then it's just easy. It's like, people come to the gym. They go, I want to lose weight. I want to tone up. I want to lose weight. I want to do all these like 10 things.
Take drugs.
Take drugs then. Why? Well, because that's what you want. You want the easy route. You don't want to do. You don't want to do like the hours of training, the hours of diet, making sure your diet is like perfect.
But I don't think it is easy because
What's not easy?
oh shit.
Everything's easy.
What's not, I may have missed what you're saying. What's not easy?
What did you just say?
Concentrating is not easy when you take drugs. Apparently, no. I'm saying is like, a lot of people want the easy route. So the people will go. I want.
Are you saying the drugs aren't the easy route?
Yeah. Well, what I was gonna say is that I find it hard because alcohol is so accepted and everyone kind of expects me. Well, I kind of feel that everyone expects me to drink. They probably don't. I could probably just turn around at any point and say, "Listen, I'm not drinking tonight," and people will be okay.
Poof, fucking poof. Take a drink, you fucking poof.
But having. I know that the effects of weed on me are like better than alcohol.
Yeah.
Like I don't feel shitty for days after.
Yeah.
Like I wake up in the like if you think
You said you spread one through.
if you think tequila's nice when you wake up in the morning, try weed because
Well,
that's fucking tremendous when you wake up in the morning.
John, you were there. You were there. I did try weed.
And how did that work out for you?
It was one of the worst experiences of my life.
different drugs for different folks.
Thanks
But
for
it made a
recommending.
lot better because I was there.
Yeah, you definitely carried me through it. Yeah.
So when you start taking weed on a more kind of casual basis then, or would you say you take it every day, or what? How do you? You just sell yourself out to the. Once you've came off all the
Did weed help
ecstasy
you?
and all that.
I'd say fuck it, why lie? It's probably most days, but I do take breaks. I
like the idea of.
How much do you smoke?
I like the idea of him going through customs.
Would you?
To India. Like, do you ever take drugs? Nah. Funny, because I recognise you from the Dregscast. And you did all you did for 3 hours.
What would be considered a lot of marijuana in a day? Is it called marijuana? What do you call it? Weed.
It's like Mel Haggard. Marijuana. Yeah, you're smoking a doobie.
A doobie, yeah.
Having a wee
So how much
puff
of the drugs would be considered a lot, and how much would you smoke?
I don't know what would be considered a lot.
Alright.
Would you consider yourself professional?
How about this? I'll have a bottle of beer. That's like, say, we'll call it a joint, equivalent wise. But I mean, you have a joint, and that'll make you get you high for how long? An hour? 2 hours?
Yeah, about 2 hours.
Right. So on a Saturday night, you'd have maybe 2 or 3 joints. Maybe a good night.
Potentially.
Right.
Or more.
In a day, I would maybe have like max probably just now like max 2.
2.
Okay, but at your peak, at your prime, when you're.
Is that because you're going to go?
I smoke pipes, which is like it's
when you're in
it's less
competition
sweet
shit.
than you smoke
So
a
is that
joint.
because you're going through an airport soon? Because that'll come up. The dogs will be sniffing you. You not thought about it, have you?
Just quick question, but I want to move on. When you're in competition form, how much would you be smoking? Like when you're like at the top of your weed game?
Well, I've never. There's been a couple times where I've maybe got to a point where I've had too much, but for the most part, I've never got to a point where it's like, well, I can't do it anymore. Like, there's certain things that I can't smoke. Like, I can't smoke too many joints because I don't like tobacco in them.
Yeah.
But as far as just weed, like I don't know, I could pretty much just smoke until I fall asleep. So, like, I've never reached a point where it's like.
No. I think
that's what I'm saying. It feels like it agrees with me a lot more than other.
So, would you view it as a kind of therapy?
Yeah, it makes me feel good for sure.
Do you could feel good without it though?
Yeah,
I bet
I do feel good about it.
So do you feel better without it?
Probably less good.
Less without it.
Yeah.
Did you say dependent?
Depends on what I'm doing though. Like,
Yeah. So what do you
like
do?
just now, like the past few while, I've been doing uni work.
Right.
So it's like, for me, it just makes uni work so much more like. It makes it so much easier because I can just have music on, and be writing, and that's super entertaining for me. So I can actually.
So you're doing uni work while smoking, or you doing it?
Yeah.
Like, right. Okay. And that makes you more intelligent, more in tune with yourself, then.
Yeah.
See, when I was in Brazil, we used to get these guys come and spar, and they'd be baked. Terminology, and they'd be like,
oh right, I thought you meant the skin colour. Look how big they are. Wow, that guy's been burned. No, he's from Africa.
But they'd always say how better they sparred when they were stoned, how like it made them more creative, and I would maul them. Right, I'd maul them. And then one day this guy came back and I was like, man, you're really good today. And anyway, it turned out he'd run out of money and hadn't smoked for a couple of weeks, and he was strong, he was fast, he was powerful. And instead of going, whoa, I'm so good. And I kind of wonder, like, I'm not saying, well, what's the difference? You're accomplishing shit in life, or you're not accomplishing shit. It's still nothing. But like, I forgot my point.
Well, no, but I think it's like if you're Davey who works in a building site, you have a pint after work. You got Tam. He doesn't work in a building site. He works in an office doing landscape. I don't know. There's a wee joint after work or before work.
Aye, but Davey,
I don't see the difference.
I do. Well, no, I don't see the difference. But how would you think of Davey? Goes home as 6 pints, goes home to bed.
Probably
smacks his wife.
Aye, I was going to say probably a wife beater. He's probably got a beer belly, but that's probably because the job he's got, not because he drinks beer.
He's a tarmacker.
Aye, exactly.
Right.
He lives by the tarmac, dies by the tarmac. You know what I mean?
What was it? He always wanted to be a tarmacker.
You know, he likes
ever since he got his Tonka tarmac.
He loves to lay things out, whether it's his wife or the ground. Whatever he likes to do, he'll be knocking it flat for the rest of his life. Fine. I want to think about him.
But yeah, he's
scum.
That's scum. So,
couldn't live without him. But to be honest, I'm middle class.
So you're asking what's the difference between Davey and Tam?
Besides the class thing.
Wait, no, it wasn't the class thing. It's the going home and having a smoke.
I think they're exactly the same.
So he's scum.
No, he's middle class.
Well, he's middle because
he smokes weed. That's middle class.
Yeah.
That's a middle class pint. That's
it's a middle class pint.
Yeah, of course it is.
Okay.
It's more. I think.
I probably agree with that.
Yeah, of course you is. You're middle class. Yeah.
Middle class as fuck.
Middle class as fuck. Yeah, of course though. Why not? Do you not think that?
I don't know. Like,
would you not associate weed with middle class?
I don't know enough about drugs.
You know around drugs as a child?
Neither do I.
Like in the place where you're born. I don't know if we can mention it in case it gets.
No, like Nah, I wasn't around anything when I was a kid.
Right.
Like Christians.
They're kind of drunk.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah. Yeah. No, I was brought up like kind of. I didn't even know people were having sex.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I was. Like I had no clue. Yeah, I've said this before.
You were.
Yeah.
Oh, what were you born in the country? But you were born in the country.
I was born in the country and lived in a hill with no neighbours.
Top of the hill.
Top of the hill.
Aye.
Aye. So like there was nobody around. So yeah.
It's funny though, because that's quite open, but it seems like quite chill out at the same time.
I'm sure all the people who lived in the town were quite aware of what was going on, but like,
Yeah.
I didn't.
Do you feel that you missed
I
out?
was,
on that?
I was just less aware.
Right.
Like I was. What was it? I was saying to someone else today something about the drugs. Aye. When I was about, I don't know, 20, 21 or something, I was in where is it? Barcelona, and these guys came up and were trying to sell me marijuana or hash. Weed.
Weed is this one. You're getting better at that. You boys smoking the.
Yeah.
You call it a gint, is it? A jaunt. A jaunt.
A jaunt, yeah,
Smoking a jaunt.
And you know, so I got really annoyed with them doing it. I don't like it. Like, leave me alone. And
Were they black?
some of them were.
Were they baked? Or were they
Really baked.
Were they baked?
Really
Were they
baked.
fully baked?
They're baked. So yeah, I thought it was slightly charred.
Charred.
Charred, lightly grilled.
Like a
Medium rare. Medium rare.
I think stone baked. You know what they say?
And so these guys go up and they say, hashish, hashish, hashish. And I go, no thanks, hashish. And then eventually I just
I'm gonna give him a hanky.
No, well,
You go cold.
so eventually I go, oh, you want some? Yeah, how much do you want? And they say, no, you buy. I say, no, you buy. How much do you want? And he'd say, you buy. I say, do you want a kilo? I'll say a kilo. And he'd say, oh, you have. And I said, yeah. And he said, and then he moved on to the next drug, like, do you want some ecstasy or LSD or whatever? And to me, I was like, holy shit, this is big. I'm talking to some big time drug guy. And
when in reality, he's probably the guy who walks around Edinburgh going, "You got to spare change for the bus, mate."
Right,
Change for the bus, mate.
but
Just trying anything to get some fucking money off you.
but no, I think they work. They do sell the drugs.
Okay.
But not good quality drugs.
No, he's offering ecstasy, LSD, and cocaine, and all this kind of stuff. And I was just blown away. I thought I'd discovered an entirely new world of stuff, like total dark underground. Yeah. It's not. Now I know that there's plenty 20-odd-year-olds going on a Friday, snuffing lines in the toilets off some girls' breasts, I presume.
That's
never quite as cool as that.
well, that's not practical, really, is it? Because it's just going to fall down there.
I don't think that's not the breasts of
in between the breasts.
I think it's just going to fall down there, though.
Anyway, she's lying on her back.
Alright, well, in a toilet, in a club, I wouldn't fucking touch anything in a club. Are you kidding me? A club toilet? You'd never lie down in a club toilet floor. You're fucking covered in piss, first up. Yeah. What kind of woman?
Well, they don't do toilet seats, so...
What kind of woman would sit?
Can I tell you what kind of woman? my favourite
Your favourite kind of woman? Are you changing names to protect the group?
Right, so this guy, I was chatting, it was by the beach, should we say, in a country.
Right,
so...
Porty belly.
Porty belly.
Aye.
So we go up and we're sitting next to her beside the bar by the beach, chatting away to her, and drinking some beers and things like this, flirting away. And we're getting quite drunk, and they didn't have a toilet because it's a beach bar. I said, is there a toilet? We could go and use the restaurant one. So she says, aye, I'll go with you. I'll show you where it is. Nice. So, hot lady, right? Stands up, got this big old bulge going on. Like, not a fatty bulge, like a very pregnant bulge. Like, she's smoking away, she's been drinking away, we're wrecked. I'm like, holy shit. Like,
when's your retard due?
Right. And she's like, it's okay. Like,
it's okay. I've got 4 of them.
She's like, I'm 7 or 8 months pregnant. I'm like, right? I don't think that's good. She says, no, as long as you don't drink in the first trimester. And I'm like, or take drugs in the first trimester, whatever. And I said, did you know it? When did you find out you're pregnant? Not till 3.5 months. Right. So he's not been an off period, has there? Right. So.
I stopped briefly when I found out.
For about.
Hang on, I'm safe now.
3 days. The day 87, 89, 90, anyway. So we go to the toilet. She shows me the toilet. She goes, I have a pee. She's in the girls, and she comes out, and she's doing loads of coke and shit like this. And she was coming on to me pretty hard as well. And I tell you, it's one of my biggest regrets in life. It's not fucking a fucked up pregnant woman who's high on drugs in some scaffy toilet of a cafe, near the beach.
I mean, you've always remembered it either way.
That's
So
true.
you think, is it going to shut my muck? You know,
Yeah.
it was worth it.
I was like,
It's in there regardless.
Exactly. I mean, but you're just like, oh,
she
I
was
could
hot.
have though.
She was hot though.
She was hot.
She was hot.
Hot and fat. But,
No, not fat.
well, pregnant
It's
fat.
pregnant.
Pregnant.
Yeah. I remember I knew a girl who was pregnant and she didn't know until the baby came out because the baby, normally babies kind of go, we'll call it landscape.
This baby was portrait.
This baby was portrait. So she didn't know. So she'd be like very much like your.
How big is she?
How big is she?
She fatty?
5 feet tall. No, she wasn't. But she was like no. But because she was like having it in portrait rather than landscape, she'd been out caned in it for like 4 or 5 months. Whatever. No, in fact, it was up to 8.5 months, and she was just like, I think I'm putting on a bit of weight. What do you think? And the boy was like, Nah, you look fine, love. You look great. I mean, you maybe put a few pounds, but you know, you're fine. You're fine. And she's like, living the good life. And then, she's like, oh, my stomach really hurts. I was pushed myself. Oh, hang on.
What?
And there's
We
a kid,
know-
there's a baby.
We know the ending.
Aye.
Did she have a problem, child, or was that okay?
So far so good, I guess.
Okay.
It's probably
It's
about.
like, I just don't get it because like I'm acutely aware when I've not drank enough water in a day. Like, how do you go through 9 months
Of eating for two, essentially, as well.
Yeah,
Well,
like,
maybe she
your
wasn't.
body's gonna be like, we're pregnant as fuck. By the way,
No, but like you don't need to eat for 2 nights. Like that's like old wives. thing.
Also, you can kind of tell when a girl's pregnant.
Aye.
Can you? You
So,
think?
big bump.
Big bump. Did she not have a bump at all?
No, because it was like
it was a kick.
It was like
kick.
normally it'd be a fatty like that way. She was more going like that, but I think I don't know how she went there, but you couldn't tell because she didn't know. So
It's a very manly thing to not go to the doctor to get checked up.
I'll be fine.
I'll be fine.
I just whack it in. Why not?
Back to town.
Back to town and
Well, I had my appendix. Is that what you call it?
No.
No, it wasn't hernia.
Feminine.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Different thing.
Just to buy any feminists listening, which I doubt very much. They're like, typical man. You can't go for childbirth, so you have to do your appendix. You had your appendix in, did you? Oh, I bet that was really traumatic.
It's the toughest job in the world, being a mother.
Single mother.
So it's
Hardest job in the world.
Asian
What?
single mother of 4.
But
Time.
not crab fishing in Alaska. That's the hardest job in the world, apparently. No, being a
Aye.
single parent.
Ice road truckers.
Just to leave Tam off for a second,
Aye.
Luke was telling me about this guy he knows in Guernsey or Jersey, wherever the hell he's from.
Aye.
And
Royston.
this guy, they've got this engine that you can pull in the nets with, but like it's dangerous or something like this because you just take your fingers off.
Aye.
So they're just pulling the nets by hand, or they're not. They use a motor, but it's an old motor because it's not worth fixing because nobody uses it. So one guy loses a finger,
Aye.
then he loses another finger, then he's lost his hand. then he's got like I think
It's going up.
Right, he goes up, and he's still like, I just love fishing, just love fishing. Or I just love fishing, if we're using last week's accent. So I don't know if he's got hooks or what,
For a hand.
but he's got. Well, assume he's got 2 stumps, and he's still out there fishing, going for these. Oh, and the crabs apparently can take your fingers off. That's how you lose your.
Oh.
And apparently they're just like, well, you lose a finger, so it's normal.
So if you had a single mum doing that, I'd be like, you're right.
Aye.
Hardest job in the world.
Hardest job.
You can't breastfeed.
Aye.
You can't breastfeed no
But
arms.
giving birth in the boat would be even harder. Back to town.
Back to town.
Yeah, so I had the hernia.
Still gonna be your bloody appendix. Jesus.
Left it.
That goes at the end.
Hang on, we still-
Go back from the gym.
Wait. We still
Go down the shower.
No, we still.
Yeah, sorry, you had a hernia.
Yeah.
From your waist.
No, we can't. We can't. We're still dealing with your depression.
Yeah, let's go back to that.
You go. I want to know.
We're out.
Right,
Bored of depression.
here's a bit. So you got depressed.
Uh-huh.
Right. How did you? Top 3 ways you got out of depression.
1.
Yoga,
Right.
therapy.
Yeah.
Just being part of cross combat.
Yay.
I tell you, big time.
Yeah.
You're just like, you know what, I should just fucking cheer up.
Wait, hang on. Was
Why not?
that yoga therapy or yoga and therapy?
Yoga and therapy.
What kind of therapy? Huh? Now we're getting deep.
Yeah. Just talking to a man. From a nice
Was he-
man from the university.
A qualified man, was it?
Yeah, he's pretty qualified.
Is he what you call a psychotherapist or something?
I don't think he was like a full. Oh no, he was like a proper psychologist. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to hear about this.
Right.
That's it.
We'll hear about it.
Recommended?
Yeah, definitely recommended. Like it's. I thought this would be a lot like it. It's not.
Not at all.
You thought we were here to help.
What do you
Just
mean?
started
He
thinking.
didn't film you at first, though. He didn't poke little holes in your whole process. No, it's fine.
I go and see the thing is, my bird's left me. Well, he did nothing with her.
It's your own fucking fault. Look at Nick you. Go to the gym. Do some yoga. Whatever.
Anyway, like
Sort
Nine Stone, Paul Cup, Sunshine.
Yeah,
Like, what was
that is why I make a terrible
12 inch,
therapist.
12 inch guns or something?
Right,
You
shall I
got-
feel my legs? Here we go.
You're going to move your leg? Oh,
Real
is this
quick,
a
real quick.
zero stretch?
Oh, serious.
So
So how long did you go to therapy for?
I maybe did about 10 sessions, something like that.
So what's that, 10 hours?
Oh,
10
yeah,
hours.
it's 10 hours, yeah.
So that's all it took to fix you? Not long.
Nah, I didn't. I stopped going.
I don't need you, mate. I'm clear now.
The therapist
my
stopped him.
mum said something to me that was like, in hindsight, pretty ridiculous. which
Sam, you
was-
just sit about my office. We don't do anything.
You just go there.
We never go out. Sit on the couch. That's all you do. I can see why she left you, mate. Yeah.
My mum's advice was,
What was your relationship like? A lot like this.
You just pitch and moan. All I hear was blah blah blah. Like this. Ooh.
Shut up.
her advice was, well, like I stopped going, and she said, well, if you're not going, then maybe that's like your body subliminally telling you that you don't need therapy anymore
Nah.
because you stopped going.
Nah.
I know now that that's like.
What is
no.
it- is
But
your mum-
at that point, it's like if like anything.
That's you avoiding change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is your mum a bit of a hippie though?
Nah, she's just a bit wrong.
What does your mum do?
She's wrong. One.
Is she a lawyer? Or is she, wait, she's not like a
We're
road.
not going down that road.
That's alright. No, I just wondered.
That's alright. The what was the last thing we said that was vaguely interesting?
The psychologist 10 hours.
I know you're probably ducking change, weren't you? Did you feel in hindsight you feel you're ducking change? You
No,
reach the
well-
point where you're about to have a big revelation, big discovery, and you're like, "Fuck this shit."
Well, I tell you what's a weird thing is self-sabotage, because I think that comes into it a lot. Like a lot of what my battle has been trying to make, trying to love yourself, trying to make, want yourself to succeed and want yourself to progress and do stuff. Because a lot of time, you will just, stop doing shit, or just, you don't want to help yourself. You're used to being miserable, you want to be unhappy. It's just part of who you are. You're unhappy now, and it's just what you know. So I think there's a part of it is you just don't want to change.
One of the things I say is you get good at what you practice, and if you're practicing being miserable as fuck, you get really good at it, and you know how to do it. I know how to be miserable. I wake up in the morning, I don't get out of bed, I get starving hungry, so I can just not have the energy to get out of bed.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. You've got the skills, and then if you're it's an act. And then if you want to be chipper, you're like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. When do I eat? When do I get focused? When do I go and phone my friends up and stuff?
Yeah.
So did you feel this was happening? Did you feel as though therapy was helping? And you're like, I'm gonna have to learn a whole new skill, and it's difficult for me.
Yeah. I just found it really, really helpful, and I found it really awesome, and it just still kills me now. I'm like, why the fuck did I stop going?
Right.
And I think it just comes down to just it's old habits. It's well, in order to I've got to get in contact with them. I've got to send them an email because I've missed a session and all this kind of thing. And it's just stuff you put in your you just start putting up these barriers in your head. There's so many times where it's all I need to do is send an email or something like that, and I'll just put it off for weeks or just not do it.
An email to the therapist or an email to
Just to anyone, anything that's going to help me and progress my life, or someone's an old friend sent me a message on Facebook. I'm just not going to get back to them. I'm going to make up any excuse. Not
You're
getting in contact with that
still
person.
like this, or that was you then?
Yeah, I'm still like this, but I'm better now. But I'm by better I don't mean solved. I just mean
What do you think you're lacking?
I was going to say, what do you think you get by completing the therapy? If you do you reach some sort of epiphany and you're like, oh fuck, that'll solve it all?
Not really. I think I've come into a lot of. I think I've been fortunate enough that doing stuff like the jiu-jitsu and that has meant that I've kind of been able to recognize I've been able to give myself tools in order to deal with it.
Right.
And after a certain point, I think you just kind of want to go right, well, I'm ready for life now. I'm ready for change. I'm ready to just do stuff by myself.
How did
That's
you-
why I know.
Do you get those tools from therapy though?
I thought you said jiu-jitsu.
You know what I mean? Though, do you feel you seem to think that you want to keep going to therapy, or you want to finish this, close the book, or finish the chapter, however you want to say it,
Yeah.
by finishing that therapy. But as you said earlier, maybe you finished it, but you still feel there's something
Well, I don't think you did
final.
finish it.
I know you didn't finish it, but what do you think you get by going back now? What would be the end game, or whatever you want to call it? I don't know. I'm just trying to figure it out myself. What do you think you'll get out of it? Just to finish it, to complete it. What would it be?
Well, it's kind of weird because people who getting to therapy and getting to go into therapy don't generally stop. Like it's therapy itself is just another tool. It's just, a big thing that helped me with was that you're not feeling as if you need to unload your shit on anyone else, because if you've got a sad thought, anything like that, you think, right, well, I'm seeing a guy at the end of the week, I'll bring it up then.
Right.
And most of the time you forget what you were worried about, but the thing is, it gives you this kind of opportunity to just put it out of your mind.
Right.
And just think, right, well, I'll deal with that another time. Like, I don't need to deal with that sad shit. Just now I'm going to enjoy myself. If this is the thing that's reoccurring, then I might start talking about it or whatever.
That's like the drugs though.
Were you able to turn to your mum as a kid?
Yeah, all the time.
So how come you never would call your mum every 2 weeks or did you?
Well, the thing was, I stopped talking to mum and dad.
Around the time you got depressed?
Yeah, and like I've still not had an honest conversation with them about drugs.
I think.
It's out there now.
Yeah.
But
well,
at the time,
what would you like to tell your parents about drugs?
well, I told them.
We're happy to have 2 more viewers.
They share the screen though. Margaret, your son's on the TV. I say TV. He's on the YouTubes. Look at him. Watch it.
What would you mean? What they know you take the drugs?
They do know. But when I came home and was like, I'm depressed, whatever. I'm
depressed. Or whatever.
Chipper.
The web.
So I said to them, like, there's some stuff that I can't tell you. And the reason why I can't tell you is because I don't think it's gonna help anything. Like, I felt that it was something that I was over, that I was dealing with. But really, what it comes down to is I'm ashamed to tell my parents. I don't have to tell them, and it's like I'm scared to tell them. I don't have that
What are you
conversation
ashamed
with them.
of? There's nothing to be ashamed of, is there?
Yeah, I mean,
What?
well,
No,
it kind of is.
but there's a feeling.
There's a lot of dishonesty. Like, I've not told them a lot of shit, and
What else have you not told them?
I just like go back to the point.
Did you tell them about the toilet training?
to be honest, I tell them a lot.
Yeah, I don't tell them anything.
Well, I think it's rude though. Sorry, and it's not shitting on therapy per se, but
Is that my one?
It is your one. It's our one. It's yours. But like, you seem, again, I don't want to undo all the good work the therapist has done. It seems like you've substituted one thing, we'll call it the drugs, or the depression, for another thing, which is the therapy.
Disagree.
No?
Massively.
Well, that's fine. No, that's why I use the word. It seems.
Yeah, you're wrong. But I think what the therapy does is, as he says, it teaches you to deal with things in a different method, in a different manner, and it teaches you to face things a little bit. And I think, as he says, just that feeling of being able to feel as though he's talking to somebody is like I'm saying, it's a skill. It's putting it off and saying, "I'll not even putting it off." But like, I'm going to deal with this on this day.
Yeah.
Like, I know I'm going to deal with it. Doesn't have to be today. So he gets to spend 13 days not worried about it, and on the 14th day deals with it.
Yeah.
Then he gets 13 days of reprieve, and he deals with it on a day. Whereas if you don't have that, so maybe if he'd been brought up with that skill, then he'd be doing it anyway. So he learns that as a skill, and now if once he's free of the therapy or whatever, once he's graduated, then he goes, I won't deal with this right now. I'll deal with it in 2 weeks, but I will deal with it. I'll definitely deal with it. I'm not putting it off forever. Yeah. And I think, I think it's not just a replacement.
Yeah.
It's a better skill. Whereas presumably with the drugs, you weren't dealing with it.
Yeah.
You're like, I'll deal with it one day.
Another thing is that the friends that like I had while I was doing drugs, it's like, no, you're not around like wholesome, stable characters who are full of good advice and able to tell you what to do. Like, it's all just
man, take more
drugs. Like, try this, try this, try this. Like, it's you're putting it's weird because you come out of high school or whatever, you go to uni, you're in a city, you're living by yourself, and you're just looking for mates. And for me, like, it was just like, these are the people that, sadly, these are the folk that related to me and I could talk to because they were doing drugs as well.
But then,
so it's like that's all you're hanging out with. So
it's kind of like everyone's got a thing though. Like, you could be, as we were talking about earlier, the bodybuilder guy who's into his thing, and for whatever reason he decides I want to get muscular as fuck. So you talk about your bodybuilding mates as to do 10 this way, 10 that way, which could be covering up something else that you're not dealing with. You know what I mean? So everyone's got the thing that they're into.
Yeah, I think a lot of these things, in fact, pretty much all these things, are probably you're looking to fill the gap. So if you're feeling what? Is that sexual?
Yeah,
okay.
Of course it is. Well, for me it is. Of course I want to fill the gap.
Right.
You've heard the stories
okay, so,
I'm bringing. Of course I'm going to talk about filling the gap.
Great.
Birds, I love birds. I'm not crying on this. So it's
Right. So,
horrible.
So for a man like yourself who was
Aye.
just desperate to feel love from your parents,
I just thought that.
just probably your mother, you Morven, whatever.
Morven.
Yeah, you go out
You have to mention her name.
and you shag hundreds of birds. Just so one
Tens
of women per night, so you can feel
I'm
like
married now, so we'll call it tens.
yes. I think the guys who are feeling inadequate physically or whatever, girls don't like me because I'm not big enough or whatever, they go out and lift the weights. If you're feeling a bit pathetic and bullied, maybe you do the martial arts, as I said before. And if you're Tom and you're just a dick, you take no, sorry.
Maybe sad away. No, but
Tammy pals.
It's quite a good thing.
No, I guess if you just want to completely change the way your brain works.
Well, see one thing that's
that.
annoying me right now, and that I've
It's
realised.
us.
Well, it's not that. It's
Dregs.
It's that. Oh fuck! I'm gonna lose my train of thought. Oh shit.
Good.
Right, too drunk a little bit.
Loud enough for the camera, though, eh?
Okay.
We got a microphone this week. Tell us if it's better.
That looks cool, mate.
Aye, please at Dregscast.
Cost a fucking fortune.
But it's not about the money.
It is.
All right. Sorry.
I made a decision a little bit ago that I wasn't going to talk for a while. Like my chat was about drugs while I was doing drugs. When I started, feeling a bit better, all my chat was about how I was depressed and how I had such a hard time.
Right.
And it's like I made a mental note well, I don't want to define myself by the fact that I was unhappy and now I'm happy. I just want to start being happy and not.
I was thinking.
So now it's as you're kind of going over it, it's like for me we're just chucking up old shit and it's stuff that in my head I'm like, yeah,
I'm
kind of past that
Yeah.
as fuck.
I think that's nice.
It's very good.
I can work.
Yeah.
I can work that in.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is, if you want to be happy, just be happy. Don't
Don't
wallow
bring up old shit for sure.
Right it to the wheels fall off.
Just
The thing is, we started talking about my ex-girlfriend, right? Of course I'm going to start getting upset, but why fucking do that to yourself?
Yeah.
Why
Why
start
talk
bringing it
about
up? Why start bringing it up? Because it's fuck it. That's why the therapy's good, shit like that. You can have your moment, you can bring up all your old shit, but while you're living your life, fuck it.
I do wonder about this. I think I think it is better to go over stuff that still affects you and process it.
I hate already.
Grab the bottle.
I'm just going to check. Is there a red light on? That's a red light on. Whatever. Right. Had a small technical difficulty right there.
Aye. But we're over it now.
Wally plugged the.
No.
Plugged the back.
Dregs plugged it into the one in the hall.
No, that was fine. That's what I plugged it into the. Anyway, we've had to restart. So where were we?
I said that you're gonna be impressed how fucking remember this.
Oh, you
shit.
took Wally on the ball.
I pop on the ball.
I didn't want to define myself
Oh, sorry.
by being sad. So if you're fucking sad, just
You're fucking
leave it.
sad. No aggression there, no remorse. If you're sad,
If you're sad,
Go on.
just leave it.
sad.
Start thinking about happy thoughts. Get happy thoughts in your life. Get happy people in your life.
But is that there seems to be
Yeah.
from the things we're talking about here, there seems to be a big thing where people find themselves in a situation, and a lot of them find themselves that they want to change. They don't know how to change, and they figure out their own way to do it.
Can I give you the quick basics on how to change?
Well, my advice,
Yeah.
as in the quick basics, would be change.
Right.
It's not
Very
difficult.
cheap. So the nice story.
I don't like doing this. I'll do this instead then. All right.
Right. So there's this story I heard. This guy, a therapist, and says to this woman, she's like, "Oh, I'm so depressed. I'm so anxious. I have these panic attacks. It's really awful. I just suddenly get these shakes and I can't breathe. I'm just terrified." And he says, "Okay, that's nice. If I wanted to do that, how would I do it?" What do you mean? How would I do what you do? How would I get myself worked up in the same way you do? And she describes it. She says, "What I do is I take the kids to school, right? And I drop them off at the school, and that's all. Right?
I'm listening.
William time." She said, "That's fine. I'm happy with her. I'm enjoying the kids, and that's great." And I drop them out, and then I watch them go out the playground, right? And I say, "Great, right? That sounds fine." Watch them go in the school doors, and I wave goodbye, right? And then as soon as I can't see them anymore, I start thinking about how they're going to get fucked by pedos. I reckon the Janny's going to be coming up, locking them in the shed or whatever. Then I drive away, and already I'm getting nervous, right? And I drive away, and then I go and go about my errands, and I imagine I'm getting beaten up by bullies at playtime. And then the worst comes around lunchtime, right? When I know the bell's gone at 10 to 1 or whatever, and I know they're out there, and I imagine them running across the road, and I imagine imagine them getting hit by a car, and they're just getting ripped underneath it, they're stuck underneath the things. And then whenever the phone rings, I think, oh shit, that's the school calling me to tell me to come down for the kid. And I'm ready to go down there, and the therapist says, what happens when you get down there? And she says, I arrive and I see my kid, and it's covered in blood, and I get closer and closer. And as I get closer, I really start seeing more blood, more damage, more hemorrhaging, more shit going on. And it's just awful mess. That's when the panic attack starts to kick in. And the therapist says, I reckon if I did that to myself every day, I'd have panic attacks too. That's a great way to have a panic attack. That's how to do it. And I think, and he says, as you said, don't do that then. Do the other stuff. Instead, think about how much fun they're having in the playground with their friends.
Right.
Think about, what's the what you were going to say?
Think about how much fun you could be having being fucked by a paedophile.
Right, okay.
Yeah. Oh no,
absolutely. Why not? We go down that path.
Oh, they just love it.
Think of the insurance money I'll get when he's killed. Stuff like this.
Yeah.
But this is it. It's really what you focus on. There's more to it, I suppose. But he's saying focus on other stuff. And somebody was saying to me the other day that she was all feeling, she wasn't getting her homework done. Why not? Well, she's thinking about how she hasn't seen her mother in ages. Yeah. She's staring at a wall. And she sent me a link to the song she was playing on her iPod or whatever. Just shit depressing music. I'm like, I've got an idea. Stop staring at the wall outside, the empty wall as she described it, which is making you feel empty, and that your life is empty, and now you've got a friend. Start looking around and seeing the beauty of stuff.
Get some Latin vibes on.
Get some Latin vibes.
Get some colour, get some vibrance.
Yeah. I sent her a song to listen to.
Spicy food.
I said that, move to it. She says to me, it's amazing, it's working. It's not that amazing. Yeah. You're focusing on happy stuff.
Well, it's working.
Yeah. It's got you focus on shit.
I was watching Darren Brown. It's a very similar thing.
Darren or Darren? Darren. Is that Darren?
Darren Brown.
You don't know who our friends are.
Brown.
So Darren Brown.
Darren Brown.
The terrorist.
Yeah.
Darren Brown. And he's talking. Basically.
Where's he from? Plymouth.
He's from Kingston, Jamaica, of course.
Kingston, Jamaica.
So he's trying to hypnotise the audience.
Trying to.
He is, obviously.
He's having a pun.
He's talking to...
Bless him, he tries.
He tries. One day he'll have his own show and it'll be fantastic. No, I think he's trying to hypnotise the audience, stroke the guy who he was on the stage. But he's talking about something and he goes, right, think of it like a massive cinema screen, think of all the stuff, blah, 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 focus. And he's trying to change their focus, so he goes, now bring it down to an iPad, something the size of a TV. Now think of it there, now to an iPad. Now you watch it on your phone. Right. So everyone's focusing on that thing. And I thought, yeah, it is. It's exactly. He's doing the exact same thing, kind of sort of a therapy.
The guy who was this therapy guy, he did the same thing. He was saying, well, how big is the picture? And she's like, it's huge. Really, it's like HD. The kids are bloodied up and all this kind of shit.
Yeah.
And what's the sound like? Oh, it's intense. It's thunderous. The car's crushing the bones. I can hear every detail.
See it. It's a panning shot.
Right. Yeah.
She's sitting there with the hat on, like Spielberg. Right.
Exactly. People make movies in their heads. I don't watch horror movies. I don't like going to watching.
I hate horror movies.
Right.
Why would you do that?
People ask me why don't I like horror movies, and I say because they make me scared.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I like happy romantic comedies and stuff, and I think I run a lot of romantic comedies in my head.
Right.
I run a lot of happy action movies. Probably I Saved the World a few times.
Buddy comedies, whatever. Yeah.
Buddy comedies, right? Yeah. Coming of age, I love that shit. And how am I going to be even more powerful the next day? And I think a lot of people in their heads are just watching shit movies.
Yeah.
Of course, some people are watching soap operas. Some people were just watching Neighbours or something. Where? What are you doing? What was your day? Oh, nothing.
Being down pub. Being down pit.
If you change the movie in your head and crank it up to level 10 and make it a happy movie, which is essentially what you're saying, you did. Did you? Are you running a different movie in your head?
Well, this is what we were talking about.
You're Blu-ray now.
Like I was saying to you the other day, since I've gone home
to the borders
where I live.
That's near England.
That's near Mexico.
It's almost there. Immediately, as soon as I started doing work, I had a complete.
Was that you were hanging around the local B&Q? Hey, I work for you.
Would you like some casual labour?
Esse!
Feed the corners.
I don't steal from you.
Where we're at?
Your
Talk about
worship.
doing your essay, writing your essays.
Yeah. Immediately I didn't want to do it because I was like, this is making me unhappy.
Well,
And this is where the balance comes. Is was like now I've got a complete negative reaction to anything that doesn't make me happy. Like as soon as I start doing it, I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this. But it's like that with thoughts now. Like as soon as I think anything negative, I'm like, oh, this isn't making me happy. There's no point. Like,
well, that's surely common sense.
No, well, it is common sense.
In a way, no, but surely that's like, right, I like being happy, it's a good feeling.
Okay,
well, this is where yoga comes in, is because it's about patterns of thought in your head, and it's about getting in negative patterns of thought. And I think that like yoga and meditation helps you do is to recognize patterns of thought that go on in your brain.
Right.
So as you're meditating, you're focusing on what thoughts are coming up in your head, and if it's, you know, I'm uncomfy as fuck, I hate Molly, like whatever, like you're just like you're sitting there beeling because you've got your legs crossed and there's no TV on. You recognize like the thought processes that are going on in your head.
Right.
So you're able to,
because you're not distracting yourself. You're there listening to the shit movie you're playing.
Yeah.
And you're like, what the fuck am I playing this shit movie for?
Yeah.
Imagine doing yoga in your mother's head.
My mother.
Yes. Oh God.
The day I've had. Downward dog. You don't know what it's like.
I went into the shops to get sausages. Could I find a bloody sausage? Could I fuck? I tell you what, parking's not the same these days, is it?
Half an hour a day. I'll be lucky if I can do half an hour a week for what we've got going on. Like, yeah, that's true. I never thought of it that way. You get to hear that shit going on in your head. Yeah. I find like, as you know, I've done a bit of yoga, but I don't do it for ages at a time. And like if I do it a lot, I can easily do an hour and a half of just chilled out, breathing and bending. But if I come back and I've done it for a while, man, I might last about 10 minutes before I'm like, shut up, shut up. There's shit going on in my head. Just stop it. Oh, you're feeling very stiff. You should probably just leave it. There's no point. Maybe you should do some massaging first. Just bend, man. It's not about being flexy. Relax.
Did you hear that podcast where I'll mention his name?
I genuinely only listen to the Dregscast.
Oh, okay. Well, it's not a podcast. It's a Dregscast.
It's a Dregscast.
There's
it's the number one Dregscast in the Greater podcast in the Greater Talkcast area.
It's the top Dregscast in the UK. But it was what's his name? Roger Gray, whatever his name was, the jiu-jitsu guy.
Roger Gracie.
Right. And he was talking about how he was...
Sorry, I ruined your joke.
No, that's fine.
Shit.
Whatever his name was.
Right.
It was that guy.
Bodger back inside.
Bodger. He loves mashed potato as much as he loves jiu-jitsu. And he was talking about him doing his yoga.
His what? Him doing his yoga?
Him
doing yoga.
Him doing yoga. And he's talking about how he's like, aye. So you kind of get into this kind of animalistic kind of like beast mode type thing. You're like, you know, I was literally climbing the walls and all this sort of shit. Been doing yoga for like years, probably was doing jiu-jitsu. And then his instructor came in and said, right, now you're ready type thing.
That wasn't Roger.
No. It was the one that was on Joe Rogan.
Hickson.
Heck, whatever.
That was Hickson, aye.
They're all the same.
Aye.
They're all baked.
Aye.
That guy. So, you know, they were talking about jiu-jitsu and his yoga. But he's like, yeah, he obviously, I think what he was trying to say was, he got into this kind of state where he just wasn't thinking about, you know, buying sausages from the shops or whatever. He was just like in this animalistic state where, so yeah, he probably was climbing up the walls. But he wasn't thinking about climbing up the walls, and then he kind of snapped out of it. And yeah, I could see where that.
I remember when I first got yoga. I'd been doing it for ages, and it was just a bending session, and I was totally focused on the bend. Why am I not bending? Squeeze, all this kind of stuff. And it was like 3 or 4 in the morning, and I just couldn't sleep. And I thought, well, if you just can't sleep, you might as well accomplish something with your lack of sleep. But I don't. You know how it is. You maybe can't read. You're not focused on anything. So I thought yoga would be the thing to do.
Illiterate, eh?
So it was dark. It was dark.
Can't afford to be illiterate, can you? No.
So I got up and started doing yoga, and then I had this thing where all of a sudden.
That's why you're middle class.
Why?
Do yoga.
So, you know.
No scummers do yoga. I seriously, Stevie, right? You got
I seriously, I'm doing that. Let's get you yoga pad. Aye.
Right. Do a duck.
No, that's not true. That's not true. This
Doing duck.
On the Wii Fit.
What?
I was doing the yoga on the Wii Fit. Aye. Totally said it. I found it. I shan't name names.
Done the lotus on that, eh?
But anyway, I was bending away, and all of a sudden, I didn't touch past my knees in years. And then all of a sudden, I just went woof, and I went deeper, and I got like really deep into what should have been a stretch, but previously just been like grimace. Yeah. And I was like, whoa! And as soon as I went whoa, like I couldn't go any further. But I was tired enough for that whoa thought, because I wasn't thinking, I was just moving, disappeared. And I dropped again. And I practiced thinking, I'd bend, and I'd get further and further. Then I'd think, okay, I'll think about something. Stiff. Then I'd relax again. I'd think, empty my mind, which was easy because it was 4 in the morning. Because of that moment, I knew what I was aiming for thereafter. Is the emptiness of the head, and it's not bending. People are often bending, but they're not doing yoga. And then you empty that mind, and all of a sudden your muscles relax, and then that's why yoga's you can bend.
Yeah.
You can only bend if you're.
It's very weird that, because there's like a lot of times you'll be in a pose and you're just like you're yanking on your foot. You're like, I remember there's like a. I think it's called like starfish or whatever. So you're like try to take your feet up to your head.
This is really good at school. Somebody will say something, I'll just look at them and they'll be like, you were thinking that thing.
Go and see the headmaster. I didn't say anything. You thought it.
This reminds me of a story, but Tam, you're here first. Carry on.
Yeah.
Carry
So you're just like pulling just like pulling my feet towards my head, pulling my feet towards my head. And you only ever get so far, and as soon as you relax, it's just like, oh, this is how you do it. And it just becomes about how relaxed I can get, and that's how far you're going to fall into pose.
Yeah.
Like, it's very bizarre.
I remember getting from barely touching my knees to just a little past, little bit past, to get my head right down to my ankles, and not that long. And just by, exactly like you're saying, just going, empty the head, empty the breathing, just focus on everything.
It's difficult to do, though, something.
It's super tough.
But that's why it's such a valuable skill, is because like...
So what's that?
A valuable skill.
This is a survival skill. I was like, nah, there's no way yoga is going to save me. Zombie apocalypse, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to stretch off. I'm going to kill some zombies. They're going to force us some food.
I know, I disagree.
Yeah, I mean, a survival skill.
I do think it is. The greatest thing I've got from yoga is being chilled.
Aye.
And I'm not a chilled man. but in fact,
you're not.
No, I know. In fact,
at times
I stopped the yoga because I didn't like being so chilled.
This is what I find so weird, man. Because you told me that, and I'm like,
what?
I just don't get that. Like, I don't get that. Like, for me,
how chill could
bliss state is like, that's what I want to be.
No, because
imagine taking yourself to the most chilled you could ever be.
I tell you what, it's like when you dropped out of therapy. I think it was my therapy. I'm really antsy. I like bouncing around. I like being energetic and being excited by things. And so I was doing it 2 or 3 times a day for, I think, 2 or 3 months. And I just
That's a lot.
And I was doing all sorts of meditation and breathing, because I wrecked my ribs, so I couldn't do jiu-jitsu. That's sticking left. So
We've got a new mic, that'll pick that up.
shit.
If not, though, we'll put what's it called, a bottom third?
So I was just like, I was trying just desperately every day. I was like, empty your head, empty your head, empty your head. And
Margaret.
And I just reached a stage where I was empty of desires, I was empty of anger. I'd go to jiu-jitsu and I'd be like, yeah. And I think, and it was good because you could flow and there was nobody could annoy me, and like things that would annoy me weren't.
Were you in like a bubble, or?
I felt very.
You were aware of stuff going around, but
I felt too separate. It's a little bit like I'm obviously quite good at jiu-jitsu and I'm better than most people in the class. Right, because it's my class and I don't bet people are better than me.
You can beat me, but I'm going to show you how. That'd be ridiculous.
Right, no.
How am I going to make money?
But it's kind of a shame because like there's nobody to chase after. There's nobody quite there.
Yeah.
And it was like this. I felt for this state, like I wasn't meeting people who were as chilled out as me.
Yeah.
Like all my friends are energetic and bouncy.
Yeah.
I'm like, what do I do? It's like when all your friends are druggies.
Yeah.
Like I didn't want to. Yeah.
Go on, it's my
This guy right here. Yeah, so I stopped, and now I only do it occasionally. I only do it when I get too stressed, and I bring myself back down to the level that I feel William should be.
See, I like that.
Good, thanks.
I was impressed.
We'll keep that. Because I'm not editing this. Have you bought
editing software?
No, I'm not. Who's going to edit it?
GarageBand.
Have you bought hosting software yet?
Not yet, because we haven't discussed that yet.
We have. Right.
You said we'll discuss. No.
Okay.
Anyway, moving off topic. What I was going to say was, because it was a terrible segue, but it's mine, so it's fine.
It's the Dregscast.
It is the Dregscast, but I'm not going to get depressed about it. There's a link in there. That was a terrible segue, Dregs. No, it wasn't. It was fantastic. That's why we're. Anyway, the question was.
I've never used a Segway actually.
You know, they're fucking fantastic. They're really. I had a great time on one.
Did
one
you?
time, yeah.
You can do.
Where have you been on
You
this?
can do off-road.
Off-road. I went off-road segment.
From the Groupon.
Nah.
Alright, good.
Nah.
Very good.
How quick did they go?
How quick? Well, this one was like 12 miles an hour or whatever it was, but I broke it. So sorry about that. No, the guy.
Were you leaning forwards too hard?
The guy said, right, whatever you do, don't do this. And I thought, well, I need to see how far this can go. So basically, he goes, don't go forward and back because it'll burn out the motor. So I was like, let's see what happens off road. It'll be fantastic. So I was like, whoa, hey, whoa, fantastic. So that lasted half an hour. It's meant to be an hour. Worth it though. Totally worth it.
Did he give you another one?
Nah. Oh no, he kind of went, here, have mine. Don't break this one. I was like, alright. So I just kind of did donuts for a bit. And I thought, right. But then I waited for him to get far enough away, and I thought, you know what, fuck it. This is great fun. Because no, you got a really good rock on them. I was like, this is fantastic. Because
just on your own, was it? You and him?
aye, just me alone. Well, kind of alone. There was a group of people. But what happened was, right, basically, if you're going up a steep hill, you can lean into it. No, let me explain. You lean into it, but then it naturally pushes you back. So then you lean back and you slow yourself down.
Right.
So I was like, right, so what I need to do
It's just lean
extremely lean, like lean a lot. Like I was just like
Try and get the handlebars to the
basically I
floor.
went, yeah. But the more you lean, the more it kicks you back. So I was just trying to get to that perfect
Because
point.
it's designed to keep you in a place, is it?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
just weird. It's like,
Are they clever?
Are they clever?
Yeah, are they clever things? Are they good? Do you go on them and go, wow, this is an amazing thing?
Yeah, well, if you're quite enjoying your balance, I think it's like you step on and you go, oh yeah.
What, is there
So if
lots
you're-
of like, have you
if
got
you're-
like a big digital readout type thing? Or is it just like you got a set of handlebars?
It's a set of handlebars, and you stand on it, and there's like basically it's a big, you stand on a box essentially. It's got all these like gyroscopic computers, I'd imagine what they're called.
Just does
And
it
you stand on it, and it basically figures out your balance. And then if you lean forward, you go forward. You lean back, you go back. Obviously, if you lean yourself too far back, you're gonna fall backwards. Too far forwards, you can't really fall off it, but you know you can try. I mean, my mission was to wreck the thing.
They're like £6,000.
Aye, but I've paid the 30 quid. That's a good. That's a way. There's a way for
plenty
it.
of people before.
There's a way. Aye, exactly.
They've covered the cost of the
You're the
thing.
kind of guy who'd pay, whatever, 150 quid to drive a Ferrari around Knock Hill.
Aye.
And you'd be just like, oh, I've always wondered what it's like to crash into tyres. What's that?
Like, right, if I scrape a
I did a
hole,
roll, Mum!
has this got a roll cage? Yeah, great. Why would you put a roll cage in unless you thought I was going to roll it? There's no point.
So the last time I went go-karting, I remember I got pulled over and the guy was like,
Too fast.
too quick, bud. Apparently you're not allowed to use the brakes and the accelerator at the same time. It's not like Rex engine or whatever. So like, for whatever reason, I just thought,
Well,
that's a secret. They're trying it. It's like, what, because I'm going so quick, that's how you're trying to slow me down.
They don't want you to win the race. Yeah,
Because I found out the tactics.
that's the
What's
key.
happening.
Don't don't do this thing. Why? Because they don't want you to win. It's a
Yeah.
big conspiracy. Fantastic.
So this
Yeah.
wasn't your official segue, by the way?
My official segue. Yeah.
No, because when you said you're going to have a segue,
Oh right, going back to the point.
Hey.
Well, yeah, but we were having so much fun.
I know, but
I was chucking it out. I was like, that's not.
I know what happened, that was there.
I was being like, damn. I was like, you know what? It's an emotional experience. I don't need that. I'll just pretend it didn't
Yeah,
happen.
check it. We're thinking about the positive.
Put it in the bag.
We're steering our train with
No, it was
positivity.
actually going to be about back to the yoga, but the sex as well though. I was thinking like, so you know, you
He's doing an Alana, by the way.
Yeah, he is. Look at you.
Off you get.
You're gonna,
I'm
you
excited.
Off you get.
no, right. Oh,
This is where
Sorry.
we came along.
Okay, no, he's
not that
like,
kind of thing.
no, but you're going to
No.
fall asleep.
Woo!
There you go.
What I was going to ask was, so you're talking about getting in this fucking state and all that shit. I mean, I could do that just by having 5 wanks. Sit in my bed.
I don't think you could.
Well, I could. The amount of
I think
if you want to give me off, probably. I'd be like, you know what? Nah, I'm not feeling this right now.
you
But
just grumble.
what? Nah.
If it was me wanking you off,
I'll really be like,
you'd be like, oh,
not like that. Fuck off, kid.
you're like Stella, you'd say.
I'll do it myself.
Aye.
Just doing it too hard. No, but like, you know, you're talking about getting into this kind of state though.
Mm-hmm.
How about wanking though? Would that not do the same thing? I mean, the moment's passed, but you brought it back up.
The moment's back.
No, it's
Don't worry
back.
about it. We're dealing with it. What do you mean? I don't think it would, no.
The yoga and the sex together.
I'll tell you what I like.
Have you-
about
do you-
yoga and
you-
sex.
do you-
I'm having to think about this.
Okay, no,
Tom
but
answer
do you
off.
think having sex?
Right,
No,
can
no,
I
no,
say-
no, let me.
Okay,
Two
cool.
scenarios. Scenario one, you have sex,
Okay.
and then you do yoga. Is the yoga better, or you do your yoga and then you have your sex? Is the sex better? You know,
I'll tell you why the sex is better.
When's the sex better?
Sex better after.
Anyway,
That's exactly why sex
is it when you've got your
Hang on,
socks on?
sex is better after, or
Because I'm wearing kill socks.
are you saying it's before or after, or just in general?
What this is why dude. What I think it is this is I think yoga will benefit pretty much any sport you do.
Right.
And I think it's about just having general coordination and just using your body on a regular basis. Because I don't think a lot of people are.
I think that's a shit reason to do yoga.
What would be the...
Well,
I don't think it's a reason. I think it's a consequence.
Right, okay, I think it's a consequence, but like if you wanted coordination, you'd be better off doing taekwondo or gymnastics. Like something that's focused on coordination.
Rubik's Cube.
Rubik's Cube. Like all your,
Yeah.
I think that the thing that you're meant to get from yoga isn't the ability to know where your toes are. Shagging. But go on, you can talk about it, but I disagree.
Well,
I'm just putting it out there. You're
Yeah,
wrong.
well, I just felt that it's like you ask your body to do something, and it's like, well, you're able to do it because you're used to using your body more.
That's not what
It's
I got from
simple
yoga.
I think
at
you should
all.
run a sport that helps you talk to girls, Tab, and then that would make you better at sex. But you'd have more of it.
Like tag rugby.
Female hockey. Take up hockey. Yeah, rugby or
that's
hockey.
Only like unisex sport. I can do.
And
Unihawk.
no.
Unihawk's unisex.
Is it?
Aye.
Isn't it?
You play at uni.
He's only got one hawk, why would I have two sexes?
Sorry, I'm a bi-hawk actually. So, whatever.
Do they have bi-hawk as a game?
No.
I think they should.
They have ad hoc. But that's as and when. Like, so you get a game now and then maybe one later when you need it.
I want to answer your question about the wanks.
Go for it.
Right. So one of the things that took me a while to get from yoga, right? Because the top yogi people say it's not about fucking bending.
The top yogis.
Stop it.
Yeah.
It's not about bending.
It's such a small part of it.
Right.
So
It's
why,
such a small part.
so why do you keep saying bending?
Yeah, it's
say
not-
something else.
Right,
Say
and-
something positive.
And then they say it's about the breathing. Yoga is breathing.
I know that.
There's nothing to yoga but breathing. The rest is just it's movement surrounded by breathing, right? Or it's the other way around. So eventually, after hearing this for years, I did it.
Sorry.
What?
Sorry, carry on.
Go on.
I just got this image of like, you did it wrong. Too hard. That's why. That's what it doesn't help sex.
They do.
However, it does help masturbating.
They do teach you how to breathe correctly. You've got-
Really, that's going to please me, is it?
I don't know exactly. And I've discovered if you do the correct breathing,
You did.
it works.
Go on then. Go to town.
Right.
Just wreck it.
So you know about Pavlov and his dogs. Aye, everyone does. Ring a bell. Dog salivates.
Aye. No, I tried that.
What?
Ringing a bell.
Right.
Dogs don't always salivate.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Right.
You need to train them up.
That's the thing.
Right.
Right. So.
I'm just saying.
I
Maybe,
love when you're a kid, you're cycling alone and we try. Ding, 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 ding. Dog's not even interested.
no. I'm just saying maybe Pavlov kind of a very drooly dog. Have you seen the film Turner and Hooch? Mm-hmm. The dog Hooch is very drooly. Take Pavlov had that dog and he was like, right, here we go, ding ding. It's one of theirs, isn't it?
So that's empty.
Don't know.
Right. So.
Aye, so Hooch. I'm just saying that
Right,
Pavlov maybe had
there we
Hooch.
go. Before I run off for a drink, aye.
The sex.
You
Yoga's.
ring a bell.
Ding.
Every time the dog's salivating, it trains him to salivate.
Right.
If you exhale, every time you're focusing on relaxing, what it teaches you is that every time you exhale,
Aye.
you should relax.
Aye.
So most people are like, and they just breathe like this. They go through their day. They're doing the work. They're, as they call it, chest breathing. Tiny little shallow breaths. And there's no where does the relaxation come in? Like he was saying, it comes every second Thursday, 3 p.m. with the therapist. So, but what the yoga teaches you is it not teaches you. Like I say, it conditions your body such that every time you breathe out, you don't just breathe out. You empty yourself of all thoughts. And this is why people say take a deep breath. Well, if you're a shallow breather, or it's not going to help. I'm taking a deep breath. It'll help you calm down. It won't. Count to 10.
I am count.
Didn't help me. Right, useless. But if you've trained your body to go, and I think this is a fantastic power to give yourself, if nothing else, if not for any other meditative shit, the ability to train your body to have click. Who is it? So do you know the Wolf of Wall Street?
Aye.
So he conditioned himself to various things. So the most powerful way you condition yourself is with smells, right? It's the
Olfactory.
Olfactory, very good. He's got words.
It's got words.
Right.
Okay.
So what he'd do is whenever he got a sale, and this guy was earning $1 million a week, by the way. So whenever he got a sale, let's say, he'd smell
Money.
cinnamon,
Yeah.
not the stripper.
All you cinnamon.
And buns.
Yeah, he'd smell cinnamon. Or maybe I'd probably go for not mint. What's the other mint? The softer mint.
Spearmint.
Spearmint. I'd go for spearmint. So you smell every time you have success, smell spearmint, right? And then you get a big sale, smell spearmint.
A pleasant smell, obviously.
Right, just a smell. Doesn't matter. But you smell it, and every time you go to say, so you do this like 5-10 times, and then, because you feel great after you've got this big sell.
Yeah.
100 sold at £50,000, you feel great, and then right, that would work. It would still work.
Just love the idea of this guy farting every time they say $10 million.
It would work. I bet you feel quite content with the smell of your own
I do.
food. Right.
Of course I do.
So what you do after the end is you smell the cinnamon,
Right.
or spearmint in my case, and then it makes you feel like the winner you
Yeah.
felt after the sale last time.
Yeah.
And now that you feel like the winner, you get the sale.
But
So
he only
he-
smells it after, right?
No. So for the first 5 or 10 times, you train yourself. Cinnamon. Like, wow, I feel amazing. I just won the 100 meters. Or, I feel amazing. I just sold 50 grand's worth of shares. Smell the cinnamon. And then you like just go on with your day. And then when you sell another 50 grand, you feel amazing. Smell it. And then you train yourself to associate this, and then you do it in reverse. And after a couple of days of this, whatever, you smell the cinnamon. And now you feel amazing. It works the other way around now.
I've got a great idea.
Then you sell.
So is that why gay men have poppers?
I believe it's to...
Widen the bum hole.
Yes.
No, because what happens is we'll call him the alpha gay. Will have sex with the beta gay. He'll make him smell the poppers. He'll be like, I had a great time last night. He didn't. So after 5 times of being like buggered up the arse, all they'll do make him smell the poppers. Nothing to do with your body. It makes your body relax, but it's not because of like some sort of like chemical reaction. You're just like, no, I do like the smell of poppers. Make me want to
Have you ever done poppers?
I have done poppers. I've got a story about that.
Pretty awesome. It's the
They're
most.
pretty good.
I
I like poppers.
I've heard many people say it's the most fun you can ever have for a fiver.
Yeah,
Well,
for sure. Poppers. You know poppers?
I think you'll say.
They're not.
Nah, poppers. I got a story about this, and I'll tell it because it's mine. I'll tell it. Damn you.
I'll tell you the best fun you can have for a fiver.
Aye.
Oh, no.
Oh wait, is it going to say Interstellar? But it's £1 extra for every seat.
Have you heard
Motherfucker.
about this?
Right, we'll talk about this in a minute. No, I'll tell you about my popper story. It's hilarious. So basically, when I was like,
Is it? Is there a money back guarantee?
Is it what?
Is there a money back guarantee?
If you pay for this podcast and this story isn't funny, you will get your money back. So basically, we're out, and like it's you know when you go through phases. Like somebody started doing poppers, so everyone's like, "Oh, I'll get on that bandwagon."
No,
Not you, because you live at the top of a hill with your fucking mum beating you with canes, fucking whatever. But like Cinderella,
It was a belt.
get the fuck, whatever. Smell this. What is it? It's not
Cinnamon.
It's not cinnamon. It's imperial leather. Just a leather.
This is the smell of despair, son. Not unhappiness. You got it wrong.
This is your cologne from now on. Yeah. So basically, everyone's doing it, and then there's one. You know, there's always like somebody in your group who does it, but he does it to the extreme to be
Poppers.
cool.
Yeah.
Again, no, I don't know this, but is
This guy.
Ah, no, but you know,
this guy.
like, okay.
Is this genuinely a thing?
So
there's always
say
somebody in
there's
your group
me,
who's
say
seen
there's a few of us here.
Oh, fuck.
Say there's
Especially when
really,
you're younger, like
Really?
people just try like, but
like, and it's always the guy who's a
It's almost like
fucking.
you're talking about phases.
Right.
Like, people go through a poppers phase.
No,
It
yes,
happens.
so everyone goes through a
It
poppers
happens.
phase, but there's always one guy who catches on late, so he thinks, right, what I'll do is I'll catch up by doing the most or doing it all the time. So we'll have like William, Dregs and Tam, and I'll be like, just pretend.
I'm doing a kilo and a half of poppers on it.
No. So
I catch up.
So pretend it's like me and Tam, we did it for weeks and that. He goes, "You want to try some?" Aye. So the next week, you're like, come in, being the big man. You're like, "Aye, I took like 4 bottles of poppers last night. My arsehole was like about this big. You got a pint glass of it or whatever, right?" So anyway, this boy, we'll call him Jamie.
Cam.
We'll call him Jamie.
Right.
Shit, his name was Jamie. But it's not the same.
It
It's
was
a different Jamie.
Jamy.
It's with an I. Right. So this guy Jamie was like, "Aye." So basically, because you're in the nightclub, so we're all, how do we sniff? It's like, "Oh, it's fantastic, blah blah." So he was sitting there on the stage, and he was like, I don't know why you know, like people like go like that, like it was illegal. It's not illegal. It's good for your angina. But he was like, fuck it. So he's sitting with that, and he's on the dance floor now, and he's dancing away, and he's doing that. Somebody bumps into him, and he knocks a whole bottle of poppers all over himself. So then, the whole club was stinking of poppers, and there's little Jamie sitting on stage, going. So we're going up to him, going, "That's fine, mate. That's all we need." And he's like, "Fuck off." Anytime he went near somebody, he was like, "Fucking hell, that boy sticks a popper." Fantastic. And that was the story. Money back guarantee. There you go.
That's
you
not
laugh.
bad. That's not bad.
Yeah.
I've often thought what it would be like to have a party where you put like Viagra in the punch bowl.
That's a fantastic idea.
Yeah.
I'll just yeah, great idea. 20 seconds. Christmas.
Especially when it was like if you had like a prisoner guard party, you know, when everyone's like you got like couples handcuffed to each other, that kind of thing. That party exists. Come on.
What?
Like you have a party, it's like prison mates and prison guards.
Right, aye, but what?
So like half of them are orange.
The way I imagine it is you come in and then you just get handcuffed to someone randomly, rather than like arriving.
No, that's how it happens.
Rather than arriving handcuffed.
If you're getting
like all the guys are in orange jumpsuit, all the girls are in like officer suits.
But as soon as you come in, you get handcuffed to somebody.
Yeah, you
get
I want to be handcuffed.
David the Tarmaker.
No, that's why it's got
hands like shovels, man.
It's got girls on
No,
office.
no.
You'll need the poppers.
I'd be like, I'd come in,
Where
and
the
like,
poppers come in?
handcuffed, and you just look up, and you'd be like, fucking, you know, the guy from the Green Mile. You just be like, oh, for fuck's sake. Well, there you go. That's how it goes. You're gonna take this motherfucker.
The big fella.
I'd make sure you take it. I'd be like, you know what? You might understand.
You'd be like sad that I'm in.
Hey, said it.
Yeah.
I love you. That's yeah. That would be the key. That would be the best thing. Making the big massive black guy your bitch. You'd be like, you know what? Fuck this shit. I'm gonna take this.
That would be the best.
That'd be the best thing.
That would be the best thing.
There's another 2 weeks out of this.
Having non-consensual gay sex
With a massive. Oh, can you imagine it? Can you imagine it? Yeah. Please come to your door. Yeah. This man says you raped him. I was like, what? Look at the size of this cunt. Look at him. Look at me. He's like sitting there like, motherfucker. And I'm like, Mr. T over there? No way. There's no way. Look at him. They're like, you're right. There's no way that guy.
You're sounding a little bit like you're planning this out.
Well,
Poppers party.
Poppers party.
The next podcast is starting with poppers.
Yeah,
It's only gonna last like 20 seconds. So if you guys just go 1, 2, 3, and then we just.
Yeah. Can I tell you about my best drug experience?
I just shit myself.
Laughing gas.
Lol.
I took two Mr. Whippies of this, and
keep it going.
That's it. And I'll probably more later. And I felt this weird sensation in my spine as though it was the graphic equalizer on a hi-fi.
Oh, nice.
That was
like
yeah. It was
whippets can be fucking intense.
Whippets.
That's what they call them. That's what the kids call them.
Whippets. I like that.
Whippets, yeah.
Because my idea for
Is
it nitrous oxide?
I just like the idea of guys, you come over to see we're going to get some whippets tonight in the street with the cap on going, right lads,
I totally
we're going to arrest these bad boys.
I totally felt I knew what addiction would be with that. Because it lasted like 20 seconds. I'm like, this is amazing. Oh, it's gone. So I did it again.
You go crazy.
This is amazing. Oh, this is what is it? It's gone. And I remember saying to my friend was doing his balloons or whatever, filling them up. I'm like, can I have that one? He's like, no. And I felt annoyed with him. I'm like, you fucker. And I thought, oh Jesus, this is
it's weird.
Laughing gas at a party. Like I'd be shit on heroin. I'd be like stabbing people.
But that's kind of what they say because everyone gets that. It's like that pulsing thing you get on it. It's like whoa.
Yeah.
Happens. Everyone gets it.
Really?
It's okay.
No, but I liked it.
Yeah,
I didn't get it. I took it.
That's the trap. That's what they get you. See.
it's the gateway giggle.
So
Fox stand-up comedy. Shit. He's on the fucking.
Do you like a laugh, do you, mate? Do you like a laugh?
Here's the thing.
You tried the stand. Calm down, mate. Go on. Seriously.
That's the point. Why don't they just pump the place with a laughing gas? It's not legal, right?
I think it might be illegal to stick nitrous into
Who know?
a club.
Air conditioning. I'm just saying.
Funny.
Yeah, it'd be a laugh.
I think there's all kinds of ideas like sticking ecstasy in the tap water and stuff like this.
Yeah.
There's apparently ecstasy therapy in America.
Oh yeah, like PTSD and
What's
post-traumatic. Sorry.
No, marriage counselling.
Oh yeah.
Marriage counselling, yeah. Because
I watched this amazing. It was a BBC Three documentary about ecstasy.
Again, middle class. Wait, BBC Three.
3 channels.
Yeah, they've got 4. They've got 1.
Big
Hang
time.
on, BBC Three's not for the middle class.
Oh, I watched
What's
it
it
anyway.
for?
I like to,
Scummers, I guess.
Was it?
It's got like stuff like
I thought BBC was the posh one.
1 and 2 are, and 4. Well,
BBC
three's more like that's like Zoo magazine, I guess. Aye.
I'm looking at you likely.
I know. I was just thinking, what can William relate to? Right, you've got Chardonnay, and you've got your £2 bottle of Plonk,
Well.
your £4 bottle of Plonk.
Now we're talking.
You got your £6 multiplier.
Calm down, son.
And you got your £14 multiplier.
I'll take that one.
Aye. So most people would have the first two. I mean, it's Christmas. We'll have the fourth option. The third option, you're just like.
Which one's Zoo?
The third option. It's kind of like.
The 6 quid bottle wine.
It's kind of the Metro. Newspaper you get free in the.
Aye. I know I used to enjoy that. You know, I used to enjoy the Metro because it used to give happy news. Every day. I was like,
none of it does now.
None of it. Like, I thought the one thing that made the Metro different was that it would say happy shit.
Right.
And then it just went down the same path as all the other.
Cat fashion show.
Here's the thing. There was a guy.
We'll go for Pete.
He had, no, you got to stay.
Now you have the guest.
You need to help him more. It's probably your bladder.
So
there's a guy who had cancer.
Sorry about Tom.
Sorry about Tom. Yeah, so the guy had cancer. This is the story there for the Metro. We're talking about sad news. The guy had cancer, and then the day he got cleared, he got killed in a car crash, right? Which was like, oh, isn't it terrible? But then I found out the full story. Turns out the guy had cancer. Fair enough.
Fair enough. We'll let him off for that.
That's it.
I mean, an asshole getting cancer, but fine, I'll let it go. I'll let it go.
That's in the bank. That's it. And he did have a car crash. Again, legitimate. Boom, fine. Legitimate. Well, you'll find out. So the third thing was, there was a letter when he got home that said, "Yeah, you're clear." He never got home because he got hit by the car. So what I'm saying is, he wasn't sad at the fact he had cancer because he's like, "I've got cancer," and he got hit by a car. He's dead anyway. He's not bothered about that.
What do you mean he wasn't sad? He probably
didn't know. Basically, he didn't know he was clear. Basically, he didn't know he was clear. So that's not a sad story. No, because he knew he was going to die, and he thought, "Fuck it. I'm in this car crash now. That's probably better than cancer." He never knew. But what they were like was like the way they
sad.
But the way they made out.
You did?
No.
That's sad.
No, it's not.
It is.
No.
Because
really. Let me finish the story. Let me finish the point. The point is, the way they made out to say was like, "Oh, you just got the results." Like, yes, I don't have cancer anymore. Fantastic. I'm going to take up yoga. I'm going to start bodybuilding. I'm going to start having sex with 17-year-old girls. It's going to be fantastic. It's all great. Bang. Hit by a car. No, he didn't know that. He already knew he was doomed. He knew he was going to die.
But he wasn't. He thought he was. That's why it's sad.
Exactly.
That's why it's sad.
It's not sad.
It is sad.
No. He was guaranteed a death either way.
He wasn't.
No, he wasn't let down.
But that
he wasn't let down.
He wasn't let down.
But if he got
the guaranteed death is pretty sad.
the fact that
yeah, but like you're going, actually, you're not going to die. Fantastic. Bang, you died. Surprise death. Lottery bonus ball.
It's better.
No. He had it better than being like given the reprieve.
No,
imagine you were on death row.
Right.
You got reprieve.
Yeah.
I'm only joking. Power cut. Dead. Same thing. He'd be like, "You've not got reprieve. You're dead enemy."
No, I'll tell you why it's different. Here we go. Because
strapping in for this one.
Right. Because if he knew he was going to survive, like you're in a car crash, you're going to die anyway. You've got cancer, and then you are lying there going, you're in a lot of pain, and you think, I can fight through this pain. The light.
Hang on.
I'll move towards the light.
I've got cancer.
Right, I've got cancer. Fuck it. I'll go to the light. I'll leave my wife, I'll leave my kids, I'll leave all that stuff because fuck it, it's going to be painful. This is my way out.
Aye.
Whereas if he got the letter, he might have gone, actually I'll just turn the light off and go and have a cup of tea with the missus. And he'd have stayed a bit a while longer. And it's 2 beautiful children. It's just 2 beautiful kids.
Well, there's that. And also,
you'd have imagined them on the car crash.
They never give you the details of the car crash. So maybe he was in the Ferrari and goes, "You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to take care of as many lampposts as I
Due to
can."
lack of details, our fantasies can run wild. We can imagine anything and it can still be true.
He was on a unicorn. And he crashed the unicorn into a pile of lesbians. And they were like, "You know what I need? I need a cancerous cock." It's bigger than it's black and a white man. Fantastic. No, I'm just saying, he was better off. What?
You'll do what? I'm laughing.
That's what he said.
Carry on, give me more.
It's the fact, I think it was better news that he didn't get the reprieve, i.e. you're cured, and he died knowing that he was going to die, rather than he died knowing that he could have lived.
But he didn't know he was going to die. He thought he was going to die.
Well, no, but that was, the doctor was like, "Are you going to die?" "Oh wait, hang on. We changed our mind. You passed the test. You've not got cancer."
What do you mean you passed the test now you're allowed to die?
Apparently it was good.
Can I just give a warning for future Dregscast? So Tom, yoga.
Yeah.
Does yoga give you cancer?
Give it a fucking go.
One of the things I liked about you was that you very nearly dropped out of university to do yoga.
Yeah.
But
He did though.
He hasn't. He's doing it. But
Yeah,
we still
getting
got.
a degree.
You only done 3 years though, right?
I've been in yoga for about a year and a half.
No, exactly, not uni though.
So
I've been in uni 4 years now.
one of the things I would say is a lot of people say to me, count them
One.
as at least, say to me, I hate my job. I fucking hate my job. Seriously, Will, I hate my job.
Right, they work tarmacking.
Most of them.
Right.
And I say, just quit your job, mate. Quit your job. Seriously, man, if I could do jiu-jitsu all the time, I would.
They'll do that.
Aye, and that's what I say.
Aye.
And then they're like, man, no.
Doesn't he pay the bills?
Doesn't he pay the bills? And I say, why don't you get a job you like? You big weirdo. Because to me it's really fucking odd. Really, excuse the French. No, don't. Grab onto that. Why would you work a job you hate? Don't get it. And I haven't. I've loved every job I've had. Because I only take jobs I feel like having. And it's hard to get jobs. Of course it's hard to get jobs you don't want. Like if somebody came to me and said, I was wondering if I could work for your job, well, like, do you like martial arts? No. I'm pure passionate about
Kung Fu, is that?
Kung Fu and that. Or even in a posh accent. Oh yes, I'm very convincing. I do like the martial arts. You know everyone takes. I'm not hiring you. Like it's just not going to happen. Oh no, but William, I could make a nice sign for you. I don't want to make a sign, but I could do it if you
could,
gave me money.
if you had to.
Nah, fuck off.
Put a gun to my head, I could make a sign to me.
But like all the people who teach, Jim, I've just got this. Like I don't ask them to. They ask me to. They've got the passion for it. They love it. And I think if you went into, let's say, a legal office, I often say, we work for free, man. Like, why would I work for free? Because it shouldn't be work. It should be joyous. It should be like, I worked for free for years. Like the gym, I've earned fuck all. But like,
sorry, when you said legal office, I was sitting there going, what about working for a legal office?
Well, we're going for illegal. But just go and do something you don't. Go and do something you love for free, and eventually
money will come.
They'll probably feel a bit guilty. Like,
Should probably pay this cunt.
Probably pay this cunt. Right. And
how much? Pound.
Most of the other guys are on 50 grand a year. We'll give them 25. And you'll get, like, I'm not talking about the guys. It's quite different to, let's say, a company ripping somebody off. Ooh, come and do what do you call it?
Work experience.
Work experience for maybe 6 months, totally free. Very different. Your decision to go and do something for free. Like, I do so much stuff for free. I do
everything pretty much for free.
Most of the jobs. I would be very tempted to go and work in a cocktail bar for free these days. Why? So I could meet the hottie ladies.
Yeah.
Right.
Drunk hottie ladies.
I loved working in a call centre. Why?
Thing.
Chatting to folk. And they had a canteen for like £1. So I got to hang out and have lunch with people every day. Over to Tam here. The thing I like about Tam is you basically you didn't have a job, but you're like, yeah, fuck that shit. I'm gonna do something that makes me happy, like we talked about earlier. Yeah. And now you're off to, was it
Pakistan?
Sheffield to
off to Sheffield to ashram.
So when you get to ISIS, I should have said that, because when that gets posted, fucking BBC Google will be like,
Google don't check for what we're saying if we talk over each other a lot.
So we've got ISIS. So when you get to ISIS,
ISIS, they're called.
ISIS.
An
Cash
investment,
ISIS.
the investment opportunity.
Aye.
Would you like to invest in ISIS for your kids?
Aye. So when you're joining the ISIS, I don't know how many people did you kill? Who joins ISIS? It's a bit of a state, isn't it?
I don't know. It'll just happen. I'll be
Imagine that.
there with the vest on and.
Aye. You get a gun like that.
Nah.
You might have a gun.
A rifle.
What do you think of?
I'll just pack the C4 and
Let's
let's go that way. I might do it that way anyway.
I'm going to make it serious. Did you feel as though when you were on your course you were doing it for the sake of that's what you're meant to do? Aye.
Yeah.
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 Look at that.
Big time.
I was actually going to ask, did that aid to your depression? And when you're like, yeah. I'm like, okay.
But a lot of
Probably.
folk, I mean, there's some people I know who I won't name, but they live very closely. Maybe they don't. I don't
Was
know.
it Jamie?
No, it wasn't Jamie. Well, Jamie with an I.
Aye.
Aye, sorry, I was telling. No, but I know like.
I have to pee because I literally cannot concentrate right now.
You literally cannot.
Oh, I'm 80%
Look at my
brain
finger.
power.
Look at my finger.
Which
See, you can't concentrate. You're lying to me.
You can go to the toilet if you stand up. Stand up.
You have to stand up. Too hot for TV.
Hey! He's swinging
Swinging
his
man.
pants.
I know a few people who they got uni at that because they feel they have to.
Aye.
When they're not ready to, because they don't know what. I think I want to do this.
Aye.
Do you want to do it? Well, I think I should.
Should you?
Probably not.
Well, this is my classic tale. I went to my guidance teacher at school. We had to. It wasn't my choice. And she said, what do you want to do? What do you want to be when you grow up? And I said, you know this?
Stuntman.
No, not a stuntman. Worse.
Alright.
I said I wanted to be an extra in Hong Kong action movies.
I was close though.
I wanted to be getting like 50 quid a day for being the guy in the background in not even Jackie Chan films,
Right.
but worse.
So moved to Hong Kong would be my first boyfriend, right?
Right. And she said to me,
You're on your own after
she
that.
said, do you even speak Chinese? I said,
Well, they speak Cantonese out there.
well, I said, I did learn Chinese later. I said, no, not yet. And she said, and martial arts, are you competitive in martial arts? I'm like, no, not yet, but I can learn this shit. Basically, I'm going on the fact that I'm blonde and I'm fairly tall, and I could be the bad guy in the, in the distance or something,
Yeah.
And she was totally against it. She said, I think you should do accounts instead.
I like how she goes down the list.
Right, down the list.
A, accounts, right.
right. Well, it was like, yeah, you can't, okay, shut up.
A, aardvark.
I was thinking, like, martial arts is, okay, if you can't do martial arts, you'd probably do accounts. If you can't do accounts, what will be next? Tree surgeon. Like, she's got an order to stuff, which was just looting, but here he is in his pants again.
He goes,
He's got
"Is your top off?"
Nah,
I feel it.
It's not that kind of club, mate.
It's not a podcast.
It's not kind of
Or Dregscast.
Yeah.
Aye, so I'm like, and when I was at university, everyone's saying, I said, I just don't get this. The only thing that really excites me in life is martial arts. And they'd say, that's very nice, but what I think you should do is for the next 3 years, maybe ignore your passion totally. Do it in the background. Just focus on your degree. And then when I speak to my mum, like, I've got this opportunity to go to Brazil. Nah. I feel as though if I get in, this is when the UFC was coming out, and I feel as though if I get in early, I'll be like I could be quite a big shot. If I get in there late, might not be. She's like, just get your degree first. It's something to fall back on. How would I ever fall back on a degree like
What
that?
would you be?
I did psychology, obviously.
Oh,
right, but like, you're not going to fall back on something you're not into. Like, you're trying. Why would you fall back on the thing you're trying to
I hate
escape?
this. I'll fall back on it.
Tell you what, mate. See that plane that's about to crash?
No.
Stay in it. Just a little one. It's something to fall back on. Something to fall on.
You'll crash.
You know it's going to crash, right?
Yeah.
You're totally not into it. You got on the wrong plane. This plane's crashing.
You know it's going to crash.
Jump the fuck off. Like and like I say, one of the things I'm proud of Tom. I love Tom. Is he's just like, fuck that shit.
This guy.
Yeah. He's off.
I remember now. Maybe the viewer.
So I was just bringing
maybe
back
I'll
in.
bring
Tom's
it.
back
Yeah,
up.
sorry.
Sam,
I was just fucking
Maybe
overwhelmed with emotion right now.
I'm gonna do an interactive bit here, right?
Aye, what do you mean?
Let me explain. So,
No.
fuck you, Dregs.
We don't understand.
Next
No,
time.
then you don't understand. So, as you say, career's guidance. So, obviously, when career's
If I
guidance.
were to guide career, I'd say stop.
Which one? I
North.
had North doing really well.
Go on.
I'm all for the North.
I had nothing to follow that pun up
No,
with.
there's a lot.
Like,
There's a lot of the North.
here's the one off.
That's alright. Was
God, you were-
that fun?
Yeah,
Is that what that was? I mean, well, you tried. You know what? I'm not going to discourage you from it, but I'm just saying it needs more work. I like North Korea, just to point out. I think they're fantastic.
At
No.
Dregscast.
Whoa.
So basically, well, one thing, North Korea, they've got their own tablets and stuff. They've got their own mobile phones, like iPhone type things. That's like a little country.
Moses had his own tablets.
Eh?
That's true.
No, that's a fun. Well done, this guy, fantastic. So when I did my careers,
That's my own, by the way. That was on the
That's
spot.
fantastic.
I didn't never.
Moses has his own tablet, so you can use that one. So we did do careers guidance. It was a person. For me, it was a computer software. So I remember going through it. Did I tell you this? I don't know.
No, but I've got one as well.
Yeah. So it's like right. So do you like working? A, indoors or B, outdoors? Like probably outdoors. Click. And there's a lot of questions like.
Do you like grass?
Do you like Do you like the colour red?
Do you prefer grass longer or shorter?
Stuff like this. So clicking away, and I got the solution, the final answer. So I thought, right. So what I want you, this is the interactive bit that I was telling you, right? What I want people to do if they're watching, still watching, I want you to do the at symbol. What do you call it?
Ampersand.
Ampersand. It's not an ampersand.
It is an ampersand.
I thought the and was an ampersand.
You're quite right.
Right. So the at symbol, we'll call it, or the sarcasm font, as I like to call it. It's not a font either.
What's it called?
At Dregscast symbol. We've got the at Dregscast. I want you to tweet in and say what you think the job that Dregs is going to get was, and we'll be like this. Right. And we'll get at least.
You know, not one person's part.
Yeah, we'll get one tweet.
Also, I'll point out that if you're on YouTube, spacebar doesn't work to pause it, which I think is obnoxious.
No, you do if you click. Anyway, we're going to so if you tweeted in.
No, wait. I also used Windows Media Player the other day for the first time in 3 years, right? Because everyone uses VLC, right?
Big pimpin'.
Right, of course you press spacebar to pause, spacebar to place. It's the biggest key on the thing. You just slap it, you're half asleep, you slap it.
Yeah, slap.
No, P. P for play, P for pause.
What? That's
Fuck
ridiculous.
off, Windows.
Damn you, Windows.
Microsoft.
Damn you. I know you have. Anyway,
hang on.
so now you've had enough time to tweet in your
can I
answers.
play?
You can't play. And Tam, you can play too.
I reckon the guy who does the tire irons.
Who makes the tire irons, aka like what are they called, crowbars?
A guy like a guy who takes tires off.
No.
Guy in a I'll have another go. Tire factory.
Mechanic.
Exterior excavator.
Nope. Tam, any?
Was it manual labour?
I guess so.
Architect. Nah. Lawyer.
Remember, so I like to work outdoors. You were close.
Exterior.
Lumberjack.
Painter.
No, close. It was a panel beater.
Well, I didn't ask you to give me. I was so
panel
close.
Yeah, you're very good. Panel beater, stroke. You know the guy who paints your car when you've had like a scratch.
Aye.
Yeah.
Aye, one of those. That was apparently the perfect job for this guy, and I thought it's not the perfect job.
After I'd been on the dole for like a year and a half, like after I'd cost the government, what was the thing's name?
Pounds.
Hang on, let's work it out.
Literally
about
pounds.
5 or 6 grand plus rent. They sent me on this special thing. William, you need our help to get a job. You're obviously incompetent. So they So they sent me to this thing, and I did exactly the test you're talking about. Do you like the colour red?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you scared of hot places?
No.
No, not so much. Do you like putting out fires? Like these kind of questions. If there was a place on fire, would you put it out?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
You should be.
You should be a fireman.
Right.
I'm like no.
But no, but understand though. That thing that was me. It's like, have you got any jobs as a fireman? Nah, we've got time yet. You need to pass the test.
Right, but
So what you're telling me
I tell you what annoyed me about it. Before I'd gone in there,
Aye.
I'd heard of fireman. I knew that the job fireman existed.
Well, the 2 words. One, you had to be a man.
Well,
A second, there was fire.
fire person. But no, but I knew it existed.
Yeah.
Likewise, I know doctors exist, accountants exist. I know that marketing executive exists. I don't know what a marketing executive does necessarily. Presumably, he execs the marketing. But there's loads and loads and loads of jobs out there that I just don't know that exist.
Yeah.
So, what was a good job I heard the other day? Right, so Disney, when they made that film Frozen.
Aye.
Alright, so there's this dude.
Cold technician.
No. So the what you know the famous song in it?
Let it go.
Let it go, sing it. You were singing very well earlier. The lips, the teeth, the tip of the tongue, go.
Let it go.
Remind me. Too late.
Yeah.
So
Let it go.
let it go.
Let it go. Let it go. Yeah.
Right. So this guy gets this song on the desk. He's given it by who sings it? Eva Vingloria. Eva. Or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not. It's a blonde chick. But carry on.
Anyway, and she's
We'll call her Veronica Mars.
Veronica Mars, and she
Yeah.
belts out. She's got quite the voice, and the guy and they're like, here, and he goes, oh shit. Now I have to find somebody who can sing exactly like her in 45 different languages. Right? Because they translate. So if you go to the YouTubes, and I recommend it, they've got
It's Control T for a new tab.
Control T for a new
If
tab.
I learn anything from Dregscast,
It's
it's that.
Control T for a new tab. And you can press, if you've only got one tab open, you can flip between them with Control 1 and Control 2.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
If there's 5 tabs, Control 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Nice.
But only on the numeric keypad. So we'll do more later. Control J, we'll tell you what that is next week.
I look forward to it.
Downloads.
Oh,
Shit. So you can see that they've got like I think they only do like 37, a demonstration of 37. So they do one line each from 37 different languages. And it sounds like whatever her name was, Eva Mangoria.
Veronica Mars.
Veronica Mars is singing them all. Like pretty much most of them, they all sound exactly like her. I never knew when I was at school that there's a guy's job to go out there and find people who sound a lot like somebody else singing a song that they're hoping is going to be really famous. Yeah. That's quite a cool job. Like, what do you do? Can you imagine the job? Hello, Tokyo. Hello, please. Yeah, it's China. Sorry. Hello, Beijing. Hello, please. Right. I'm looking for a girl who sings like this. I'll just put it on play. I won't be able to hear you for 30 seconds. Go. What's it? Oh, it's nice. Let it go, let it go. Right, have you got anyone? Nah. Alright, cheers. Thanks, Dave. Wing. Thanks,
Oh, wait,
Karen.
hang on.
I'll call someone else.
What happens though? So they obviously sing.
But they sound the same. That's
Yeah.
my
So
fucking point.
they sing
What a
the
great
song, but do they also do the voiceover for the person, or is it going to be like, you know?
I think it's always a different person who sings the song.
No, because in this film, the person who said the words, as in the script, also did the song.
Did she?
So yeah. So I'm just imagining.
Bruno Mars?
The African version. They'd be like, you know, they'd have like they would be like, oh, my, yeah, 1, 2, 3, yeah, and then
races.
and they go sing the song. It's like, you know, so they have this little feminine petite voice.
That was your feminine petite
thing is,
voice.
No, you have a little feminine petite voice doing like the words as in the script, and then you have this like, like the big.
It's not like it. It sounds just like the original. Also, I want to tell.
Okay, keep it going.
And then
No,
carry on.
Go on.
You're our guest.
It's not about us.
Okay.
It's not. Sorry, definitely not about Dregs. Go on.
Well, like, oh, fuck. See, we're so such
Yeah,
a
but you're
build
gonna
up
be-
for us saying it and like.
Go on.
Go on,
Hang on,
Tom.
pounds. Alright, so here's another job I didn't know existed. Right. So what they do is they don't translate it exactly, the songs.
Aye.
So they sing it in Japanese, but it's not Japanese.
Phonetic Japanese.
So what they do, I think they're called plosives. So and ums. So the P's, the B's and the M's are when it's most obvious. So a P sound doesn't look like a la.
Yeah.
So what they do is they write the lyrics to match the M in each language.
Yeah.
Which is really fucking
It's
clever.
really tough.
Like to be writing a song that sounds vaguely relevant to the film, just matching when their lips are closed. And there's like of the 40s, I watched about 17 or 18 of them, but there's some that are spot on. So like especially the last bit where she says, what does she say at the end? She says something like, "I'm not afraid of the cold" or something.
Yeah.
It's an Avril Lavigne reference or something. But and the lip movement is spot on for it, spot on. But in like 19 different languages, just.
So I'm not afraid of the cold turns into the cold does not intimidate me. For example.
I feel like if
or
this is the
even
whole point.
fuck you guys, I'm going home. But the lip sync is perfect, and your job is to come up with lip syncing
the words.
for words that will fit this and be relevant to the thing.
Yeah.
I was offered accounts. She didn't say to me, if you're into martial
You
arts,
could be a rip syncer.
how about you be a rip syncer?
Yeah.
But I just think you're missing, like,
Whore.
it's completely missing.
This is
the point,
Gardner.
like,
You're right there.
It's not about.
That's your
like-
real name.
Like, I can quite happily listen to
Right.
like Latin music. I don't understand a fucking word they're saying.
Middle class thing.
Like,
again,
why-
that
why-
time.
Yeah.
Middle class love the Latin.
I love it. Fucking sells.
I was briefly interested in Tom. Don't overrule him.
Carry on, Tam, don't stop.
Don't worry.
I'm not worried.
So yeah, I don't know.
You can listen to Latin music.
A lot of pressure right now.
There's no
Be
pressure.
interesting, Tom. Be interesting.
Well, yeah, it's like it's not about like understanding. It's about just like listening to music. Like, I don't understand why you need to like fucking translate it into different languages. It's not what it's about. Like I can listen to stuff in different languages and appreciate it because it's like because it's interesting music.
I can give you the answer to
You
that.
can feel the emotion of like the actual person who's meant to be singing it. And it's their song and.
However,
No.
pause, William.
Thanks, Luke. The answer to that is because what Disney like to do is make people feel, give people the feeling that the movie was for them. It's a part of them.
Yeah.
So it's not just like, oh, look what happens in America with the Ice Queen or whatever it goes on in the movie. It's like, this is your Ice Queen.
Yeah. It's just
So it must be quite a magical experience
Yeah,
if
it's
it's done
supposed to
right.
be like a film.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm sure they're listening to salsa in Japan.
So do you like
I mean, you're listening to K-pop.
uh,
I've been around your house. You got your K-pop on all the
so
time.
like Afghanistan and that, they've got like Frozen and that.
Korea pop.
Froyo.
Korea.
What?
All these countries, they have like their own version. Like Afghanistan will be like Frozen and all that shit.
Yeah, they've got 47 different versions. I'm
But there's
pretty
more than 47 countries.
Right,
There's more than
but-
47 languages.
All right, man. They're
What's
not doing.
that?
I'll admit they're not doing them all. They're not doing.
No, I think it's,
Whatever.
it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's really nice that they do this.
You know,
Costs a few
you know,
dollars,
there's only apparently
By
there's
the
a
way,
quota.
can I say my favourite is a Japanese one?
What was I say? There's a quota for in
Also,
China.
stop. Very interesting. The person who sings it in the actual part of the movie
Yeah.
and the person who sings it for the credits, two different people. They've got one person singing it for the movie, one singing it for the credits in the
Interesting.
Japan version. Don't know about the
Ah.
rest.
Well,
Why?
do you know China only allows 7? Now I know one person who will be on the Twitter right now. Be like, Dregs, you got it wrong again. I know movies. Well, I was like, well, you should hang out more. We all know who we're talking about. What you do? This he's small, tiny guy. Wee Tim.
Wait,
Wee Tim. Aye. But apparently there's like the government in China has said that there's only, I think it's 7 Western films a year allowed in. So like, only the big blockbusters get to go to China, because China's like an emerging market for when it comes to cinema. So like, you can imagine, like, you know, I don't know, it's just saying that's quite interesting because you have your Frozen or whatever. You wonder which films they're going to pick. So obviously your Interstellar, that'll be one of them. But it's just weird, like China, I think, like, because there's how many languages in China or dialects?
5.
5. It's a lot. It's
not a lot. There's a 6
I
billion.
don't know if does ever go in
That's
there.
could be loads, aye.
There's a shit.
What the drink is there? Further. What?
That's alright.
What? Are you going to Pakistan? India. So you're going to call them Indians?
Sorry. Not Indians.
Indians, aye. With a J.
Engines in that pal.
How come your shirt's not red, mate? What do you mean? Well, you're Indian. Aye. You've got big headdresses on.
Engine, number 9.
Exactly. Indies. You're going to go along. Be fine.
Yeah.
Drink Cobra beer. What else do you know about India?
Tiger, is it not? I thought Cobra was the... If you're gonna for a chinky, carry it.
No, Cobra's Italian. No, it's
Italian?
It's Indian.
Peroni.
It's not. Cobra's British.
Is it?
Aye.
Aye. Just like India.
Tiger's British.
No, Tiger's Singaporean, but well done.
Is it?
Aye.
Oh.
Probably brewed here.
Ching Chong Donny.
Actually, quick rant before I
Well,
close it up. Is that
bring it down to close, got nothing to do.
these imported beers.
Beers.
We were talking about. Did we talk about this last time?
I think so.
Asahi.
Yes, yeah, you did talk about this.
Asahi.
Yeah.
Imported from Japanese beer. Imported
Jack.
from Czechoslovakia.
This was Jack.
Yugoslavia.
Aye. You talked about this.
Aye.
So we know. Aye. So basically, go to the source.
I can't remember what we're on.
Anyway, I think shall we jump to a conclusion? Tam,
I'd like
finishing words.
I like to finish. I say I like to finish. We never have, but I would love to finish with just compliments towards me.
You're
So
amazing.
basically, Big Willie over here. Big Willie style.
Aye. How much has he changed your life?
Big time.
Loads.
Totally big time. Completely big time.
How many ways? Let's count the ways. Not got enough fingers.
Well, it's like amazing. It's amazing to me looking back. I'm just gonna go full on.
What are you actually?
Fucking straight.
Is this for
in.
reals? Let's take some poppers. We'll get Dregs to leave the room. Go on.
50%. No, sorry, 75%.
Go on.
Moving, changing the stuff.
What?
Yeah, I mean, like, I spent a month in this flat, and the amount of
that's good.
self-confidence I got from staying in this flat was just ridiculous.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Well, you, little man.
Hello,
You.
guy.
We
Let's
damn.
look, let's
We
go.
damn.
Shite
You
shite
pathetic piece of shit. You
Because
fucker.
you're nothing.
You're nothing without this flat.
No, go on. The self-confidence you got from the flat. Go on.
Well, I mean, it's just like, yeah, I mean, like, my current situation right now, I'm happy as fuck, and I think, like, a lot of it is just, like, again, it's just, like, it's under, you know,
God, you guys.
whatever.
Tearing up
Like,
right
come
now.
on, let's just blow each other real quick. Real quick.
No, I want to hear this. You'd be surprised to hear.
You're inflated by
Tell me more.
20-year-old boy
Tell me about the confidence you got from.
from other flatmates.
What about it?
Well, it's just another step in loving myself enough that I feel that by, like, if I meet a new person, I'm not burdening them by them having to know me. Like, it's kind of,
Yeah.
you know, come on, man. You know?
Nah, it is. Went to the gym the other day. There were 8, 10 people standing outside, and all of them were like,
Did I tell you that story? Is
No,
it same situation?
"Oh
I
yeah, but possibly we've all experienced it." They're all like, and like they
You've got
obviously
something in common.
they obviously don't know that they're decent people,
Yeah.
and the people, and it's a weird thing. I definitely remember, actually it was a long time ago, but this feeling that people might not like me. If I talk to them, maybe they'll hate me. And of course, you go to places and people are cunts.
There's a lot of people who talk to you and begin to hate you.
Well,
that's after.
Right, that's after. But like, was saying he went to a club in Liverpool or something like this, and
They do though, don't they?
don't they do that, don't they?
Yeah.
All right.
I've got the med of you.
And he said he goes up to the instructor and says, "Hey, how you doing?" And he's like, "Fine." Goes back to his phone. And he says, and he saw that he was, like, say, buying something on eBay. He says, "What are you buying there?" And he was like, "Sofa." Goes back to his phone. So he's like, "All right, fuck it." So he goes and talks to somebody else. And, the second the guy looks like Brown Bell or something like this. "Hey, how you doing? How you doing?" "Yeah, fine." Anyway, the class goes on. They go, basically, they get warmed up, they fight, the guy says a few words, they do their thing, and they all go home. Nay chat, nay none. Now, if you go to a place like that, what it makes you feel like is, if you're not used to feeling as though you're worth something, you talk to that guy and you think, oh, you know, you're quite right, I'm not worth something, I was a waste of your time. I do apologise for being a piece of shit. I thought for a moment it might be worth saying hello. So what happens is you come to the door of our gym, or any other gym, or Tesco's, and you're like, you go to the cashier and you're like, I better not say hello to the cashier, because they'll think, because I am a cunt. I know I'm a cunt, because the guy at that club in Liverpool made it very clear that I'm a cunt. And and so you see 10 people outside the door who apparently all think they're cunts. And then, of course, you come inside and you push them to talk, and they're like, oh no, I like you, you're nice. And then they come outside the door again a few weeks later, and they don't. And and so it's you're one of the guys I'd be pretty confident would be saying, sup, outside the door.
Yeah.
Partially because you like Budweiser.
And also because you still know it's not.
It's not.
And marijuana.
Drugs give you confidence. Take drugs, kids.
They don't give me confidence. Well, they do. Drinking gives me confidence, for sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
Can you suck it?
Big time.
Is that with the yoga though? That's the yoga that makes you suck it.
Yeah, I mean, you just like, you got more of a feeling for it, you know what I mean?
I think it's like, if you're going to suck it yourself, it's probably not the same.
You're going to suck what, yourself?
Your own penis.
I couldn't.
You can suck your own penis.
My back's really
Well, what you want to do is, instead of going forward, you want to take your legs up over your head.
Aye.
I'm just saying.
I was saying, like, why would you want to come on your own face? Makes a mess. Well, I've got a beard.
Surely better if you want to taste it. Don't you feel a bit awkward going? Because you can't. Because you have to acknowledge you did it there. Whereas if you're sucking yourself off and you come in your own mouth, you're like, couldn't help but find out. Couldn't help but find out. Salty.
It's like sample the Greeno. It's like fortified. Fantastic.
Get it down, you son.
I don't know what you're complaining about, love. It tastes great.
Can you suck your own tubular bell?
Should we,
Should we? Do that. Right.
I need to make a move. So we'll bring us to a dramatic end.
Can I just encourage us all? If you're watching us, other people are apparently watching on their commutes. People are watching us on their lazy Sundays. People are watching us on in foreign countries, Australia, Japan.
Australia's not foreign; it's white.
Okay.
Japan is because it's yellow.
Japan. We did have a couple of coloured countries. Excuse me.
Which ones?
I can't remember.
Africa.
But wherever you are in the world, let's just have a nice round of applause.
For Tam.
For Tam.
Bloody hell, Tam. Good job.
You'll be with him for a few seconds longer, so just...
Carry on, keep it. They say, in fact, if we don't see him again... Bye, Tam.
Bye, Tam.
guys.
Remember this face.
Just feelings. Thoughts and feelings. Love
This
it.
guy.